Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. We are back. Yes, honey, we are back with a stiletto on the neck. Lord, help us, help us, help us. I just have so many questions. It's been a lot going on. It's a lot to consume. It's a lot for one person to consume. You get to reading stuff and looking at this and looking at that. You're like, well, what in the hell is going on? I got to talk to the players at the palace because maybe somebody can give me some answers to some of these questions that I have. Ugh. But, of course, before we get into my questions, I always got these damn questions. We're going to get into some news, and some upcoming fights, what's left anyway for the remainder of the month. And then we're going to woosah before we get into that. But first, let me see who all up in here. Please make sure y'all smash the like button as y'all come through the door, honey. If you are not on the security team, honey, stop at security. Let them know you are here. They will give you a visitor's badge. Okay. Other than that, sit down and have a good night, honey. We about to have us some fun. Hey, Cash, what's up? All things. Yes, my brother can't. Hey, Miss Joette, I feel safer already. Hi, Mr. Grumpy. Darren, are you going to behave today? Mm. Hey, Crush, how you doing? You ain't go on this morning, or at least I ain't see you. I was looking for you too. Hey, Zayas, where you been, baby? Hey, Enigma, how y'all doing? Okay, let me get into this news, honey, and then maybe I'll just open it up and we can just talk about all of this stuff together because I got so many questions about what is happening. But let me give y'all some news, see what we got, and then we'll move around. Okay, we just gonna put it that way. We just gonna move around. Okay, but first we definitely gonna start with some news. So I have what looks to be an official undercard for Benvidez versus Zordo, which is supposed to be taking place on May 2nd. We have Armando Resendez. Obviously, he is fresh, not fresh, but fresh off of his win against Caleb. Playing, don't beat my poor John B into retirement. It looked like. But anyway, he's fresh off of the fight with Caleb, playing back in, I think that was May of last year, almost coming up on a year, winning the interim belt. Obviously, later he was elevated after, Bud Crawford retired. So, this is like a super middleweight title. He will be fighting Jaime Manguia. Okay, Jaime Manguia, we remember that whole scandal, child, after he won against Bruno Saras back also in May of last year as well. So this is going to be at 168 pounds, and it does count as a title defense for Resendez. So that fight is on the undercard of Benavidez versus Zordo. Oscar Duarte, obviously, who was supposed to fight Richardson Hitchens back in January when Richardson Hitchens fell ill. He will be facing Angel Ferrero. Now, Duarte, obviously, he's been on a 4-0, I guess, win streak. Ever since being knocked out by Ryan Garcia in the eighth round. Y'all remember that, but those are minor details. Okay. And then let me see. And then who is this? Yeah, and then he won a majority decision against Kenneth Sims in August of last year in the title eliminator. So that's who Oscar Duarte will be fighting. I'm glad they were able to get him an opponent. I know that kind of sucked for him to get right there to the day. You don't get no money for all the time you done spent out for training and sparring and all of that stuff, and then you don't even get to fight. So I'm glad they were able to get him a fight relatively quickly after, his last fight fell through. Isaac Lucera versus Alan Sandoval Gutierrez. Both undefeated. I think Sandoval has like 30-0-1, 19 knockouts. Lucero is 18-0, 14 knockouts. This is going to be at 154 pounds. So far, those are the only fights that I was able to find that are going to be on that card. And obviously, this will be on the main card. What they got going on, like in the prelims and stuff, I don't know. But obviously, this is the PBC card, and so we'll see. And then I had posted before. I don't know, but I posted David's little hit list, honey, that he has. So we can revisit that a little later. But right now, we focused on Zerda. We're gonna get him out the way, and then he going after Bivol and all of them. So we ain't worrying about him. Now, for those of you who have become fans of Sam Noakes or who were already fans of Sam Noakes, he will be returning to the ring May 3rd against Henry Turner on a card headlined by, I think, Bradley Townsend versus Yasir Aljanere for the English and the WBO European Super Lightweight titles. Child, when I tell you they just be making up stuff, they just be making up titles to give to these people. But nevertheless, he will be back in the ring as well. Charlie Suarez. Oh, hold on. Get this out of here. Charlie Suarez has. I thought I had his picture. I guess not, child. Anyway, Charlie Suarez has signed a promotional deal with Samson Boxing. Now, this comes 1 week after the WBO ordered a rematch between him and Emmanuel Navarrete. Suarez is the WBO, I think, #1 contender, mandatory challenger. This comes obviously after the highly contested stoppage in round 8, making that last fight a no contest. So he has new representation, so he'll be getting there in that child and get him a little rematch. Now, some of these people I just don't know. Okay. So Diego Pacheco, obviously after his little struggle win back in December, and yes, it was a struggle. Okay. And then he pulled out of, remember his what was the WBO title fight that he had scheduled with Hamza Saraz, okay, on the cusp of a purse bid. He has now come out and says who he wants to fight next. So I'm gonna let him tell y'all who he think he gonna be fighting, y'all, or who he wanna fight. And I'm gonna give y'all my comments on that, but we're gonna let him tell y'all.
You to be like, now I'm here. Like when you beat a certain person or when you get a certain belt, what is that for you?
I think becoming a world champion and right now I'm fighting at 168, beating the top guys, right now I'm supposed to be fighting around June or July. I still don't have a confirmed date, but I'm trying to get the biggest fight possible. Hopefully Jaime Munguia, Edgar Berlanga, one of those guys.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like this is the time to make these fights happen. Like I said, I want to go down as one of the best. So,
yeah, you have to fight those names.
For sure.
So I got a question. My mother got a question real quick, right? So you want to fight the best names, right? And I just told y'all that Jaime Munguia, he busy, right? But so you want to fight the loser of Shiraz and Berlanga when you have the opportunity to fight the winner? See, these boys be confusing me, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. I don't understand what is happening right now. Okay, did the boy say he wanted to fight Berlanga when you had the opportunity to fight the man who beat Berlanga? I see what I'm talking about when I say they be stressing me out. They be stressing me out. It don't make no damn sense. I just thought that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It's not like he wasn't offered the fight. You know what I'm saying? He definitely was. So I don't know. I don't know, child. Moving right the hell along. Bam Rodriguez. Okay, his last fight, obviously, we know was on Night of the Champions back in November, where he defeated Fernando Martinez by knockout. He is in a pivotal moment in his career, right? He is, from what I just read, he's a promotional free agent. So it looks like he did not re-sign with Eddie. He's still evaluating offers beyond his current, situation that he has with Matchroom. He's also trying to figure out which weight class he wants to campaign in. He may be moving to bantamweight. In a required, mandatory defense against Pedro Gutierrez for the WBC. Now, like I said, no. So he may move up to bantamweight to challenge the WBA title holder, Antonio Vargas. His team aims for him to return this summer, right? But since, Garcia is tied up in an apparently a mandatory situation with Andre Manoli. That's supposed to be taking place on April 18th. He may just go up to bantamweight. We don't know if he's going to stay there, child. I know before I had posted that he may be signing with the Zuffa. He doesn't know. So I don't know if he's trying to hold out for the highest bidder, but he's currently, he's got some decisions to make. Is he going to stay with Matchroom? Is he going to go over to Zuffa? Is he going to stay in his weight class? Is he going to go up to bantamweight? Me personally, a grown man weighing 110 pounds is ridiculous, but it is what it is. So he has some decisions to make. He's an amazing fighter. Any promotional outfit would be, lucky to have him. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. If he's going to stay with Eddie, if he's going to weigh his options elsewhere, if he's going to move up and wait, we'll see. I mean, the older that, you get, the harder it is to, I guess, continue. I don't even want to say shrink himself down because I don't really know. When he was in that ring in November, he didn't really look that small to me. So, I don't know. Maybe he carries it differently, or maybe he just, rehydrates to a weight he's comfortable with, but he's comfortable making that weight. I'm really not sure what Bam really got going on, but I will be watching, and I will definitely let y'all know, when he decides, and Mother's all up in his business. So when he know, y'all will know. Okay. When he figure it out, we gonna figure it out with him. We gonna do it together. Okay. Let me see what else. This fool right here. Where is he? This guy, he's getting on my damn nerves too. Where is he at? Get over here. Where is you at? Where is he? Anyway, Tyson Fury. Oh, here we go. Tyson Fury will be fighting knockout specialist Xander after a 15-month layoff. Now, we did see, I thought I saw something about him possibly fighting Anthony Joshua, but Eddie Hearns has since shot those rumors down. He said there was talks about it before AJ got into that car accident, but they haven't revisited it since. So for now, this is what he's doing. I'm not sure if it's going to be on Netflix. He got on a Netflix tie, so it's possible. But this is the fight that he is scheduling next. Okay, so just hope he don't get himself hurt, child. Now, I did hear about because y'all know I'm his YouTube lawyer. Okay, let me see something. Where he at? Yeah, I know I am his self-proclaimed YouTube lawyer. Where is the picture of this boy? Well, anyway, I'm talking about Boots. I've heard he's getting ready to possibly fight Xander. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that later in the show. But I definitely did want to mention that I did hear that. I heard that the talks are going good, but there's some things that I guess need to be ironed out, as with anything, so that's not a big deal. I'm hoping that things, absolutely get better for him, because first court is about to be gone and the homie ain't had no squabbles. So we definitely need to make sure we get him in there and get him a squabble. Shout out to, Xander. But like I said, we're definitely gonna talk a little bit more about that later in the show. But I did hear that obviously this comes after the news that Oscar done put them golden handcuffs on Virgil. They over there playing tag, I'ma blame you. For the situation, when I think all three of them are really culpable. I think it was all done just smoke and mirrors games for all three of them, talking outside of their daggone mouth. Oscar may have wanted more money. Rick Meridian might have wanted more money. Who the hell knows what is going on over there? But I'm glad Boots decided to move the hell on, because we ain't got time to keep playing with you. Okay, golden boy. Top Rank. Finally, y'all, they off the Tubi, y'all. Top Rank is finally off the Tubi. Look at Bob Arum out here making moves on top of the moves on top of the moves. Okay, Bob Father, we see you. Yes, honey, he has landed a broadcasting deal with the DAZN for a multi-year partnership too. This deal includes, I think it was 8 to 10 events annually. To the DAZN Ultimate tier to get a minimum of 12 pay-per-view events, including per year. 12 pay-per-view events per year, including they are going to include what fights? Hold on, I know I saw this. Oh, they're going to include Chisora versus Wilder. That's going to be in April 14th. They are going to do Wardley versus Dubois, May 9th. Okay. And then they're doing Usyk versus Varahan, May 23rd. Okay. If you sign up for it, I think it's $44.99 a month. These are all included in that, instead of paying separately for them. Instead of paying separately, you can, I guess, bundle it. You know how they do their little bundle deals, child. So you could bundle it for $44.99 a month and you should be straight. Okay. I'm not sure who's interested in that. That's what it is. Now I did see some other stuff, but we're gonna talk about that as we get into the show, because that is the news, honey. Now let's finish up with these upcoming fights. I'm gonna see who else up in here, and then we're gonna get into the show. So for the remainder of this month, where's that damn thing? I'm getting ready to go blind trying to see this thing. Oh, for the remainder of the month, what today is? We have the Carlos Adames, okay, versus Austin Williams. We got that coming up this weekend. Matter of fact, I did see their little face up. I saw that. Sebastian Fundora versus Keith Thurman. I saw their little tire face up too. And then obviously we know Frank Sanchez, he had pulled out. I think something was wrong with was it him that had the leg issue? Something's wrong with his knee, water on his knee. I think that was him. But give me a minute. I'll get the other graphic for April. Probably by after the Fundora fight, we'll definitely have that up. But I did see that, and I did see their press conference. It looked like nobody was really there at their press conference. It looked a little dry up in there. But I did see Keith Thurman, talking about, he's the gatekeeper. Fundora has to go through him. We can talk about that a little bit later too, because I don't know how I feel about this fight. I know they were supposed to fight a long time ago, and then Tim Tszyu ended up fighting Fundora instead. So I'm not really sure. Keith Thurman hasn't been as active over these last couple of years as he, could have been or should have been. So I really don't know what's going on with him. I did watch a couple of his training clips. He looks all right. We're just gonna see if Once Upon a Time still can pull it off one more time. Okay, we definitely gonna see. But y'all let me know who y'all think gonna win that fight any damn way. We're gonna talk about that a little later too. But those are the last of the fights for the remainder of this month. And then we'll get into some more stuff. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the card in April, the female card. Because we're gonna talk a little bit about them heifers too. But let me see before I get into this show, honey. Let me see who was all up in here. Hey, Curtis, how you doing? Smell good. Isaiah, I spoke to you. Hey, Barbara, how you doing, baby? Yes. Yeah, I want him to move up too. I don't know what is happening, honey. Hey, Blue Hustle Man, how you doing? All things. I think I spoke to you. If not, what's up? All right. I think that's a hey aircraft. How you doing? Hey, Flatbush, how you doing, baby? Um, 45. Yes, it's 45 a month. It's 44.99. Okay. 44.99. I don't know what they're gonna do with that extra penny because pennies ain't no good no more, child. I don't know. But yes, it's $45 a month for their little bundle deal. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad Barbarian and them got up off the Tubi. I'm happy for them. I really am. Aircraft, from what I understand, that was never a real situation. I read because I subscribed to Dan Raphael's newsletter. And from what I understand, that was never a real situation. It was talked about, but it was never anything like signs. I did see like those flyers and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, he coming back. But then shortly after that, I started seeing that he was going to be, that Munguia was going to be fighting Resendez. So I'm like, well, what happened? And but from what I understand, that was never a real situation. So I'm not sure what is happening. I mean, his ass ain't on the card no more, so whatever. Hey, Barbara. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, DeBoss. How you doing? I don't even know how to pronounce your name, baby. DeBoss. Oh, the boss. Duh. The boss. Let me see. I think that's everybody. Okay. Let's see. 47 a month. Oh, probably with taxes, it'll probably be a little over 50. You know how they do. Y'all know how they do. Let's see. Where do I want to go first with this nonsense? Because I got some questions, y'all. Mother got some questions. I'm going to need some help with some of my questions. Y'all going to have to answer these questions for me. Let's start with the main foolishness. Let's start right here. Okay. Now, I'm just going to put this picture up just so we can visualize who we're talking about, because I don't know what's happening with these people. Right. Mother just has some questions that I want to address. Okay. So this has been on my mind for a while. Y'all saw I put out my video the other day. I've been, obviously a couple of my lives have been about this because it's just some things that I'm just not understanding. So we need to kind of lock in right now because I need some answers. Some things just don't make sense to me. Maybe I'm missing something. Somebody can help a sister out. Okay. So first I always start by acknowledging what is real, right? Haney and this whole Ryan thing, now add Rolly. This is a complicated conversation, period, right? And I don't mean that as shade. I mean this situation around him right now is literally complicated. Devin has, what is he, 33 and listen, I'm right now we're just going by what BoxRec say so we can just keep this thing rolling, okay? But we'll get into semantics later. But BoxRec say 33 and 0, right? Everybody that got eyes saw what they saw. We're not gonna rehash that because people start crying. But he is, okay. He's 33 and 0, right? He's accomplished in the sport. He's, multi-division champion. He has a world title right now. Those things are facts, right? And we're not here to take away from that, but we do got some other questions that we need to ask, right? What is happening around him right now does not add up. And I'm gonna ask y'all this, right? I don't know how many of y'all knew, because Mother just found this out. I didn't even know he was suspended. And I don't know why. Because he fought last year. Okay. So here's the situation as it stands. Haney has a fight in front of him, right? Or at least a fight that he's been claiming that he wants to make, the Rolly Romero fight. That has still not been signed. Okay. So let me say that one more time. That fight has not been signed. There is no contract. There is no finalized date because he hasn't signed it. The Romero fight is just sitting there unsigned in the air going nowhere, right? But then here's where it gets even more interesting, because while the Rolly fight is sitting there with no contract, conversations are already circulating about a September fight. And I saw that it was put out by one of Devin's pages or Bill's pages or whatever the hell that was, that what I don't understand this. So you have a fight in front of you that is not finalized, no contract, no signature, and the next fight already has a date being discussed publicly. That don't make a lot of sense to me. But then, you said that Ryan was being unreasonable, right? Sign up for drug testing, then we can fight after I beat Rolly, yet you still ain't signed that goddamn contract. Makes no sense. And then this is just them basically going back and forth. Now, this was a while ago, so that's like, okay. But the whole time you were suspended. And now I know why Ryan is suspended. Ryan just fought a couple of weeks ago, but Devin, you fought last year. What are you still suspended for? And why are you and your father negotiating in bad faith? Now, I don't know what's going on. Maybe he just got to go to his little doctor's appointment, child, and get checked out, and then they'll clear him. I don't know. But it makes me wonder, why are you even out here talking about a damn fight? Right? It's like, I just don't get it. And then, so there's only a few ways to read the situation, right? And I'm just going to give them option one. This is strategy, right? You put the Garcia rematch date out there to create some sort of buzz, to shift the narrative, to keep the public looking at the big name, talking about the big rematch, while the Romero situation, the current situation, sits unsigned and unresolved. You keep everyone focused on September 5th. So nobody's asking the hard questions about what's happening right now, right? This is the narrative play, right? And in boxing, that kind of play, obviously, we know is not uncommon, especially when we're dealing with them. The second thing that I thought of is the reason the Romero fight isn't getting signed, and that the reason has nothing to do with negotiation displays or promotional issues, and that is where the suspension conversation becomes relevant. Now, and I want to be clear here, because I like to deal in the facts, not speculation. I'm merely asking questions because I don't know, right? There have been conversations about the possible suspension around him. I don't know if it has something to do with the issue that took place at the Shakur and Tio weigh-in. I don't know, because I really don't know why he would still be suspended. Right. And now I'm not going to run around and confirm information that I cannot get my hands on, because trust me, I have looked. But I can tell you this, if that situation is real, then what does it mean that Haney is publicly calling for fights and applying pressure on a deal that isn't getting signed? It means the public urgency is not urgent at all. It's performance, right? So you out here, you and Rolly had this whole back and forth, sign the contract. I ain't getting no contract. Tell this one to call me. This one ain't calling me. Oh, you ducking, you lying. All the while, you suspended. Why are you even like this? Somebody help me. Somebody just please help, mother. Somebody help me. All right. So I don't, like I said, I don't know why the boy is suspended. I've tried to find it. It doesn't, I really can't find a specific reason. Only thing I can think of, is maybe it has something to do with his previous situation, or maybe, I know they usually have to go and get some sort of clearance. I really don't know. Or is it like some type of leverage to make the fight happen? If you truly want it, if your team truly wants it, sign the damn contract. You don't float a date for a fight after the fight. You get a pen and you sign the paper. This is how you show real urgency. Pressure without movement, y'all, that's just straight up noise. Bottom line. Okay. And now let's talk about VADA, right? I don't know how many of y'all watched my video that I did, because he has been calling for 24/7 VADA, because it keeps coming up. We understand that the VADA testing situation has been raised repeatedly in conversations surrounding Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, right? And I want to ask this genuinely because I think it's a fair question. At what point does the VADA situation stop being a damn headline and just start being a footnote? I am tired of hearing about this, y'all. I am sick to death of hearing about this. I was on Twitter the other day and I seen people saying, why ain't y'all posted Ryan's results yet? So for those of y'all who are clearly clueless, right, and just, I don't know what some of y'all be doing with y'all time, if they post Ryan Garcia's results without his consent, that is a HIPAA violation and he can sue the shit out of them. You don't believe me? Read it for yourself. The only way they are allowed to post his results is if he asks them to, or if he gives them consent. So just because Victor Conti, God rest his soul, was out here just posting people's damn results, and maybe he did get their permission, but you might want to check for typos, because I remember there was a typo on Bud's latest VADA test, but you cannot just be out here posting people's damn test results. I don't know what type of world you people live in that you think that type of shit is okay. Okay, but nevertheless, Ryan posted his own VADA results. So Ryan was clean all through his fight with Mario Barrios, so that y'all have nothing to worry about. And now he is a WBC champion, which means he is enrolled in the clean boxing program, which means he is tested randomly any goddamn way. So there is no such thing as him dropping out of VADA. So this is just a damn excuse. And round we go with the excuses. This is the type of things that I'm talking about, guys. The ship has sailed. He's dropped out of VADA. No, he did not. There is no such damn thing. Okay. Now, I have told y'all over and over again. We've talked about this. I was finally able to find it in my own pictures that I took, because I can't find it on the website anymore. Devin Haney is the only fighter. Him and Nonito Donaire, I believe, are the only fighters enrolled in this 365 VADA testing shit, right? So I get the fact that Ryan, for not disclosing his supplements, he was suspended. There was ostarine detected in his results. We are not going to keep going back and forth with that. For the sake of argument, fine, right? So with that being said, I get it, why you feel like you want him testing. But if he's already in VADA, that whole argument goes out the window. Right? You in the 365, he's now enrolled in the WBC clean boxing program, which means he's tested randomly all throughout the year. There should be no problem. There should be no more concerns. There should be no more idle threats. There should be no more sign up for testing, all that other kind of jazzy shit, right? Just get in there and knuckle up. That's it. He's enrolled, you enrolled, that's just it. No other boxer is enrolled in 365. So the fact that y'all are trying to act like Ryan's suspicious because he's not enrolled in it, then I guess every damn boxer in boxing is suspicious, because ain't nobody enrolled in that shit. That's just what it is. People maybe just don't want to be bothered year round with that. They'll get tested closer to a fight because you have to pay for that. And these boxers who don't make a lot of money, shit, who want to pay for that if they don't have to? I ain't even got to fight. What I'm testing for? Now, don't get it twisted. Obviously, we want a clean damn sport, but riddle me this, right? For them to be standing and leaning on VADA, why the hell the results don't come back till after the fight any goddamn way? What good is that? What good is that? I just don't understand that, right? Like, it's VADA, VADA, VADA. You still don't get the results back till after the goddamn test. I don't need you to catch a nigga after he cheat me. I need you to catch him before he try to cheat me. So that's just my whole situation with that. I am still trying to find out why this boy is suspended. Like I said, if somebody knows, please let me know. I think that they once again are running masterclass in misdirection. Keeping everyone's eyes on the Garcia and this and that, sign up for VADA with knowing damn well he's already in VADA, and nobody's looking too hard at what's really going on right now. Okay, but mother can multitask. Okay, and I see every goddamn thing. So I need to know why the boy is suspended. If somebody know, please, the people, the Haney fans who speak Haney, put it in the chat. Let me know why he's suspended, honey, because mother might have missed something. I am human. If I missed it, then I missed it. But I cannot for the life of me figure out why this boy is suspended. So I don't know. Let me see if somebody answered my goddamn question while I'm over here trying to figure this out. Because I don't understand this shit. Nobody don't know? Nobody don't know nothing? I feel like, look, y'all, I feel like that's my favorite movie. So y'all will hear me probably reference that in a lot. New Jack City. Don't nobody know nothing? When they had to burn down the car, and he was like, don't nobody know nothing? I mean, Jesus, can't nobody tell me why the nigga is suspended? What is going on? Oh my goodness. Jesus Christ on the cross. You know what, Curtis? The question, Creole the Traveler baby, was if you're suspended, why are you trying to make a fight with Ryan? If you are suspended, why do you post up a September 5th for a Garcia date? If you are suspended, why the hell are you suspended? That's my real question, baby. So if you know, please let me know, Creole baby. If you know, let me know. Yes, his suspension is coming from the New York State Athletic Commission. But again, he last fought in November. Is that normal? I don't understand this. That's what I thought, Blue. That's what I thought. I was not sure, but I did mention that was one of the things that I thought about, but I wasn't sure. I don't know. Who is he? What is he? We doesn't know who he is in the chat. I don't know what you're talking about, the boss, baby. Who's bothering you? Y'all stop cutting up in here. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I thought, Blue, but I was not sure. So I didn't want to just throw that on him because I did hear, his father say that that Tiger, did pursue some sort of legal action. I still ain't been able to verify that either. I'm waiting for a phone call, y'all. But I haven't been able to verify that. That's why I really haven't been talking about that. But I did see Bill say it. I do not repeat anything Bill says because Bill lies. So if I can't verify it, I'm just not going to repeat it. I'm still waiting to verify that. Once I do, then we can talk about it a little bit more in depth. But as for now, I don't know for sure. Okay, so I just kind of left that alone. I was kind of leaning towards that, but I was not sure. I knew why Ryan was suspended because I'm like, okay, he just fought a couple weeks ago, so that makes sense. But I couldn't figure out why the hell Devin asked to suspend. And I could have sworn he was not suspended like a month or two ago. So I was wondering, like, where did this new suspension come from? Is he aware that he's suspended? Because the brother's still out here acting like he's trying to make fights. So I don't know what's going on with all of that, but we'll circle back to that once I open up the panel. Let's go ahead and get this waterhead off our screen so we can get to the next waterhead. Now listen, I don't know why these people are running around here bothering my baby, okay? But we're going to get to the bottom of this shit. Now listen, I like Keyshawn, but sometimes some of the things he do just seem a little clout chasey to mother. Okay, just a little, just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna play these clips and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna break down what the hell he got going on.
I want to fight you this year. Could we make it happen this year? Are we going to make it happen this year? I'm pulling teeth trying to get him to fight me. Do y'all see this shit? Hey, bro, look at you. You're bigger than me. What are you talking about? He's bigger than me. He talking about 35. I'm trying to go to 47 to fight Devin Haney. Somebody clearly bigger than me. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? I'm active world champ. Who cares? Casuals don't even know what world champ is. They know who you is. They know who I am. In the whole world. Yeah, boxers know that. Us fighters know that. This your belt. People that's paying to watch us fight don't know that. Because I'm at 40. You didn't fight that to get. You ain't take that from me. You see that? I practically gave you the belt. You didn't fight me to get that belt. I don't care. I don't care. Next one you get, I'm gonna come take that one too. I don't want to pay for the belt. No, you unless I move up.
These people out here don't make fights, Keyshawn.
Okay, so that's the first clip, right? So first of all, if you're just getting in the building, smash the like button, please. If you're new here, sub to the channel. We are growing and glowing, baby. Smash the like, sub to the channel. Let's keep going. I'm going to take y'all back before we continue moving forward. Just for people who have forgotten, I'm going to give y'all a real quick crash course in what the hell has just happened, right? So Keyshawn Davis, he was the WBO lightweight champion, right? He had a mandatory defense scheduled against Edwin De Los Santos. Big fight, big money. We're talking maybe $700K, right? But leading up to the fight, what does he do? He goes to the press conference and he publicly tries to press Abdullah there too. I don't know how many of y'all remember that, right? He was fighting on the undercard, daring him to fight him next. Mason, obviously at the time, I believe he might even still have more pro fights than Keyshawn, or maybe like one or two less, right? But he tried to little boy him. He tried to embarrass him, in my opinion, right in front of the cameras. Now, why would a champion go out of his way to call out somebody who wasn't, in the conversation? You here to be with Edwin De Los Santos, right? So we're going to just let that sit right there. Then the weigh-in day comes. Keyshawn Davis, he steps on the scale. Remember, he was 139.3. That the limit was 135, so he was 4.3 pounds over. Okay, and that fight got canceled. He gets stripped of the WBO belt. De Los Santos team came out and said, he intentionally missed weight. He wanted the fight to go on. He probably wanted some sort of advantage. Shakur probably told him De Los Santos hit hard. You know what I'm saying? Who the hell knows, right? But listen, 4.3 pounds, that's not an accident, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And you was less than that morning. So tell me what's happening. But we're going to move past that. Now, here is where it gets beautiful, because Mason, he stepped up. Top Rank put him in the main event on ESPN, replacing Keyshawn. He had his fight against Jeremiah Nakatila. He was 21. Yeah, he had just turned, 21, I think it was. And, in my opinion, I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But anyway, yes. So he stepped up to save that card. Thank you, Abdullah. Because the businessman was not handling business, and he did it with grace and style, and just, being petty like he should be, because F them, we don't do buddy system over here. Y'all ain't my real brothers. I got 5 of them on my own, boo. No need you. Like I said, and it's happening again, right? So yesterday, Top Rank had their press conference to announce their deal now that they on DAZN, the zone, you know what I'm saying? Keyshawn, with his 14-0, 10 knockouts, he walks up to Abdullah. Y'all heard the first clip. Abdullah has 20 fights, 17 knockouts, right? And is now the WBO lightweight champion. We saw him win that against Sam Noakes on the Night of the Champions card in November. And he started trying to press my little baby again. I don't know what is going on with Keyshawn, but let's finish.
People don't make fights. The manager makes fights.
You act like Bill Haney, nigga. When I knock your son out, y'all gonna be crying. When I knock your son out, all the punches he take, I'm gonna knock.
Let it show you. That's what I thought.
Okay, all right, bet. I'm gonna holler at you later there, Jay. You the best at talking, bro. Bro, I beat ass. What are you talking about? I really beat ass. And I'm the best at fighting. I will beat your ass, bro. I will really beat your ass.
I don't deny that. You're a great fighter.
You right. I don't deny I won't beat your ass neither. I will beat your ass,
oh, yeah,
bro.
I'm gonna deny that. Yeah, I'm
gonna really beat your ass. Like, you're not better than me, bro.
That's easy.
All jokes aside.
Yeah, that's easy to say.
I really, what you mean easy to say? Go watch my highlight.
Okay. So that was that. I hope y'all heard Abdullah. You know, let me just play the last one, and then I'm gonna wrap it up how I feel about all of this.
Wait for yourself, your own timetable.
He said he couldn't make the weight, but he said, oh, I could have made the weight.
You a Bill Haiti ass nigga, bro. You goofy. You goofy.
He's a major hater.
I'm hating on Lil Bro.
Major hater. He can't make 35. Oh, did I see the other video? I could have made 35. I don't know what is he doing. Why is he leaving?
I was doing this.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm a hater now.
Ready,
Oh
man?
my God.
You ready? Come on.
Keyshawn is a hater.
He's a major troll. Keyshawn Davis, the king of the troll.
Man, I'm a hater.
You said you a hater.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I want to take that life out. Like if I was, that's just me. That's just me though, gang. I wouldn't take. He said. I'm out.
I say, Lil Bro, this year? Oh, whenever. Oh, why you keep talking about whatever, my nigga? I'm talking about this
What
year.
intrigues you about that fight with Abdullah?
You know,
If you don't make 135, how you gonna fight at 135?
crazy. Pops, it's about your son, not you, Pops. It's about your son. All right, bet. What was it?
What intrigues you about Abdullah? Is it more the principle of, shutting him and the team up, or?
He's a good.
He went on to say he's a good dude, which is crazy because you just try to. All right. Okay.
Press conference, and he had turned and said what he had said to me, and I said, okay, I'm gonna let my hands do the talking, and I still feel that way, I let my hands do the talking, so I don't got too much to say, but when it's time to step in the ring, I'm definitely ready, and I always be ready. The last I heard, in that same breath, he said he didn't want to fight me, he wasn't ready to fight me, so I'm open to fighting anybody, so when the time is right, I'm definitely, I'll be right there, and right now I'm at 135, and I've been here doing what I'm doing here, so I'm definitely open to fighting anybody though.
Okay. So am I in the Twilight Zone, or did he try to embarrass him again? Right. You can hear Abdullah telling him, you ain't got really no belts to offer. You missed weight, whether intentional or not, you got stripped. Now I got the belt. And now he wants to call the man out again. Now, Keyshawn has been on a crazy parade calling out everybody. He called out Pitbull. He done called out Lewis Crocker. He done called out Devin. That was kind of funny when I saw that video. But nevertheless, you're at 140. These are fights. Some of these fights you're calling out at 145, right? 147. Right. So you don't have a fight up there. I mentioned that in one of my videos as well. You never even petitioned to go up there to fight, Devin Haney. So it's like, what are we really doing? You know what I'm saying? And y'all know I rock with Keyshawn, but sometimes I feel like he be a little clout chasey. You know what I'm saying? And it starts to really irritate me sometimes. And, but here's my real question, right? Because even though Keyshawn is a little clout chasey sometimes, is Mason ready for Keyshawn? I mean, he is a champion, right? Or should we still be slow rolling him? It's just a question, meant to strike dialogue. It's not meant to be combative. It's things that I be thinking about myself, especially when I was watching this video and I was contemplating stepping on Keyshawn big toe. I was thinking to myself, I really don't like all of that when you be pressing him. For one, because Abdullah Mason, to me, he's just very shy. He's very reserved. He's very laid back. And to the naked eye, that could look as if he's intimidated by Keyshawn. But from what I've been watching about Abdullah, he seems to let his hands do more talking than his mouth, which is a lot more I can say for a lot of rest of these boys who don't do that. They do more fighting on Twitter and Instagram than they do in the goddamn ring. But it is a question, and I feel like at this point in the game, it's a legitimate question. You are a champion right now, so are we still spoon-feeding you? Or is we letting you off the porch? It's a real conversation to be had. That is a big fight. That would be a really good name on his resume. But y'all let me know in the chat. Do y'all think that he's ready for Keyshawn? Somebody said Mason gonna whoop Keyshawn. Okay, Creo. Okay. Listen, I think with a little bit more tweaks for his defense, because Abdullah does get hit a lot, with a little bit more tweaks to his defense, I think he is, especially if Keyshawn hangs around 140 and Abdullah moves up to 140, maybe in his next one or two fights. I can't see why not. I really do see, Abdullah Mason as one of the future stars of boxing. He keep on doing what he's doing. He's entertaining to watch. Most of his fights are finished by knockouts. Like I said, he tweaks a little bit of his defense, and he's unstoppable. Because he's punching with all mean intentions, just as bad as Keyshawn is. So that would definitely be a good fight. Keyshawn is being smart to try and get him now, because like I said, you give him a little bit more time, you ain't beating him. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. So I don't know. It's just something that they did turn pro at the same time. However, Abdullah has more fights than Keyshawn. I don't know how the hell that happened. Because remember, all last year I was like, God dog, Abdullah fighting again. He fight like, you know what I'm saying? He fighting like 3, 4, 5 times a year. So he was able to surpass Keyshawn, because when I checked, Abdullah has 20 and Keyshawn only has 14. I don't know how in the world that happened, but that just goes to show you somebody, one obviously staying more active than the other. And then Keyshawn, when he got, suspended for the marijuana situation or whatever the case may be, he had to take some time off. And then that whole thing with his missing the weight and them doing whatever happened backstage with the Albright situation, caused him to take a little hiatus. So that could be contributing to why he doesn't have as many fights as well, all caused by himself. No pity parties here. I'm just giving y'all the facts. You know what I'm saying? I agree, Curtis. Yeah, you know what, Cash? That's a good question. Where was that Billy mentality when Frank pressed you? Where was that mentality? Andy Cruz, go online and tell anybody who listen he's your real daddy. You continue to ignore these particular things. So I don't know. Like I said, sometimes Keyshawn seem a little clout chasing to me. Love him to death, but he can appear a little clout chasing to me. And it almost like he's trying to bully Abdullah. And I just didn't think that was cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they do pick and choose who they try to bully. But here's the thing, though. Like, I don't even really consider you a bully. You know what I'm saying? Your resume is not really all of that. You had a really good win your last fight over Jaron Ortiz. That was definitely a nice win. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, the first real notable name on your resume. It should have been Edwin De Los Santos, but you kind of, flaked out on that fight. Not really sure why. But, this was a good name on his resume. It was. I ain't gonna hold him. He is. Yeah, he can fight. He definitely can. He definitely can fight. Rick, I agree with that. So I don't know. Hey, Ruben, how you doing, baby? So I don't know. I just wanted to know what y'all think. Do we think that Abdullah is ready for Keyshawn? Or are we still kind of slow rolling him, letting him develop, even though he has a belt? Because I remember specifically asking this question when it came to Xander, and y'all was all over my ass like white on rice. So I just need some of y'all to keep that same energy, and what's happening with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what he said, Crush. But like I said, sometimes to the naked eye, it can appear as if he was a little intimidated by Keyshawn, or if he's timid. Like I said, I said that the first time. It's like, he probably ain't paying Keyshawn a bit of damn attention. You heard what he said to him. He said, whatever belt you get next, I'll take that too. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like he wasn't, popping it back. It's just that Abdullah seems a little bit more respectful. Obviously he don't do the social media games. He goes out. He's very professional. He was supposed to be at that press run, so he was there. You know what I'm saying? And he was asked some questions, and then of course here comes Keyshawn, trying to press him. So I don't know. I just think that the whole situation is a little like, both them boys can fight. We got to see what happens. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you say, yeah. Okay. Well, I look forward to hearing that when I open this up. Let me get through the rest of this, y'all. And then we're going to open it up for a little bit. Oh, you know what? Let me see. Yeah, Keyshawn, did I do my boots, honey? Oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe I'll go there next. Let me go. What's going on over here with my boots? Because y'all know I don't, I told y'all I'm his self-proclaimed YouTube lawyer. Okay. So, like I said, he's moved on. We ain't got time to be waiting around for no raggedy Virgil Ortiz. But what's this man name? Doius. I don't know how to say his last name, child. But anyway, the guy from DAZN, I think it's not DAZN, it's Todd DeBuff. He was on Ariel Hawani, and this is what he had to say about the whole Virgil, the whole Boots and Xander situation.
Frustrated at the inability to make the Boots Ennis Virgil Ortiz fight, and now all of a sudden we see, hey, it could be Xander Zayas sliding in, and quite frankly, I said this yesterday, that's a very good plan B, if that is plan B. Is it plan B?
It's a very good plan B.
Yes.
If it's a plan B.
Yes. Are you interested?
Absolutely.
Are there talks of this happening?
Absolutely. You should have been at lunch with me.
I was doing my show. It's a long show. Zayas versus Boots is tremendous.
Yeah, we're talking.
Would you do that in Puerto Rico? Would Boots be okay with that?
I'm not sure Puerto Rico's the place to do it.
Okay.
You know, in a perfect world, I love New York for that fight. I really love New York for that fight. I think we've been playing around with some buildings and looking at some stuff in New York. The availability is a little bit, but it's in talks. I mean, I think that you saw the chatter out there. Xander wants to fight. We would love to do the fight. And I know that Matchroom and DAZN would love to see Boots get that fight.
Yes, we would. And so would his self-proclaimed YouTube lawyer, Jab Queen. Okay. So let's start with the frustration is real. Y'all know that. Okay. Jaron Boots Ennis, in my opinion, is one of the most gifted, most exciting, and most dangerous welterweights walking the planet right now. Okay, a man who has done everything in the sport asked of him, or at least what he tried to do anyway. He tried to unify his whole division. Unfortunately, that didn't work out for him. He was forced to move up. His body forced him to move up. Right. So the fight that everyone wanted, not the fight that should be happening. We're talking about the fact that Boots once again had to pivot because a fight that made all of the sense in the world just doesn't look like it's going to be happening, at least no time soon. Right. And I'm talking about the Virgil Ortiz fight that's off the table for right now, unavailable due to Oscar, Virgil, and Rick Merigian over there acting like they are just crazy. Okay. Acting like, I ain't even gonna say it, but anyway, acting like they crazy. Okay. And before we even because I've been through that whole lawsuit thing, let me just be clear about something. This is not only, this is not on Boots. Obviously, Boots was doing everything right. I have my issues with Eddie, but it looks as if they were doing everything possible to make this fight, right? Boots is staying active, he's staying sharp, he's staying ready, right? The problem is, Virgil Ortiz and them. I told y'all my personal opinion. I feel like that Golden Boy just felt like they could not take another loss. Ryan had already lost to Tank. He came back to defeat Devin, but then it got overturned due to that whole Osterine thing. He came back again and lost to Rollies. The Peta lost to Shakur. Virgil was pretty much the only unblemished fighter that he still had. So to an extent, I understood it from a marketing and a promotional standpoint. I get it. But I was just hoping that the fighter inside Oscar would just allow the fight to take place, If he is the man, like Oscar says he is at 154, he should have been able to get in there and prove it, right? Because a lot of these guys are able to run around here calling themselves the best fighters in the world without actually having to prove it, right? So that's just my own personal beef that I have with Oscar and that whole situation. But moving on, Boots is moving on. Okay, not because he wants to, but because he has to. The Ortiz situation, we see that fella damn part. Oscar run around here suing him not to let the boy fight. Okay, so he is protecting Virgil's at all damn costs. Boots had to make an executive decision, and he's still, obviously he's choosing to fight. He's taking what's available. And the next fight, shout out to Xander Zayas, for even agreeing to this fight, because we saw what happened. Josh Kelly said that he would fight him if he won, and then Josh Kelly won the belt and got amnesia, act like he never said the shit when we know we heard him. So, and Rashidi Ellis, he backed out. I was even over on Mill City. I asked him why he didn't fight, and he started stuttering. So it's just like a whole bunch of stuff surrounding him. So I really, really do hope that this fight does make it across the finish line. Boots deserves it. Xander wants to test himself. I got absolutely no problem with that. For as long as this fight lasts, it should be a good fight, right? But I don't want to downplay Xander's skills, right? I can't say I know what's going to happen because nobody knows. Anybody could get lucky, a punch, a slip of the wrist, who knows? You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Xander for at least even taking the fight. Now they have to work out, obviously, the particulars to figure out where it's going to be. I'm talking about like venue wise and all of that. So, hopefully they can get that across the finish line. This is when Eddie about to earn his check or his percentage. Okay. Xander got 2 belts. Speed that because we need that. You know what I'm saying? So listen, let's get in there and get it popping. This is a serious test for Xander Zayas. And like I said, shout out to him genuinely for stepping up when a whole lot of other people did not. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna have to see. I'm gonna be watching this just to make sure that it materializes. But right now, that's what we got. At least that's what it's looking like we got. Okay. It's looking like we possibly have a fight for Xander. I don't understand what happened with the rest of these guys, but look, we gotta do what we gotta do. Gotta keep it moving. He also talked about why they didn't go back to ESPN and how they landed on DAZN.
Pop up that you guys were talking again.
Yeah, we have a great relationship with them. We're talking to them all the time. So,
okay.
I mean, it's I would say that one thing that we did do was I think we did remain very civil, and there was no bitterness and there was no resentment, and they're a wonderful platform. They're a great partner. We loved everything about it. Their needs were different than our needs, right? And their needs weren't necessarily exactly what, that could take our whole vertical like we did before. So we had to be inventive. Time it.
Were there talks to go back to ESPN?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, apparently there were talks, but nothing became solid. DJ, I'm going to read that in just a second, baby. Let me just finish my train of thought because I started reading your message and then I completely forgot what I was about to say. But I'll go back to it, I promise. I'll go back to it and figure out what the hell you're talking about. But that's basically him talking about them not being on ESPN and they landed on DAZN. Listen, as long as they get from over there on the Tubi, child, I don't give a damn. But it does speak volumes that, MVP was able to lock in a deal for women's boxing. And then, them and Top Rank were able to reach at least an amicable deal. I'm going to try and poke around and see what really happened with all that. But listen, they back on DAZN, child. It's party. We outside again. I don't got to go watch them in the bushes no more. So we good. Okay. Bob Arum, he's a scrapper. He about 927. So we already know he know a couple of tricks. He know a couple people. So it probably just took him a minute to land back on his feet. Now we need Oscar to come on off the swerve, child, and try to patch things back up with DAZN and get back to business as usual. So we can start, making some of these big fights, because that was starting to be a topic of conversation too. Oh, you don't even got no platform. Where we gonna fight at? You ain't got no platform. That people love to use any damn thing to duck a damn fight, honey. So we're gonna see what's happening. Now, for those of y'all who saw my video that I did the other day about the interview that the lovely, the beautiful, the talented Miss Alicia Bumgardner did with Brian Custer. If you didn't watch it, go watch it. I ain't got time to tell you everything that happened in that video. But surrounding this video and surrounding, obviously, both of their fights that are coming up, surrounding a lot of comments that Caroline Dubois has been making recently, this is a conversation now that people are starting to pay attention to. I'm going to ask y'all a series of questions, but first let me get into what this heifer talking about. Now, this is the segment I really been waiting for, because this is where things get real, right? This is where, people, we're going to, like I said, I'm going to open it up because I want to get y'all opinion on some of these things. And I will ask y'all my questions again, because I know half of y'all don't forgot them. But this is where the opinions come out, right? And mother, I get to watch y'all go in the chat. So I'm here for every second of it, for real, if you ask me. I say get in there and squabble up. I don't give a damn, right? But we're talking now about, obviously, women's boxing. And like I just mentioned, MVP Jake Paul, he has done amazing with women's boxing. I don't take him per se seriously as a boxer, but as far as what he's doing for women's boxing, I find him absolutely amazing. And that's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? He probably still sipping through a straw right now, but that's okay. He gonna be all right. Okay. Joshua, it's all right. But we're not talking about who has the most world titles or the longest unbeaten record. We're asking a bigger question, right? Who should be representing women's boxing inside the ring and outside of it, right? And yes, there is a difference between those two things, because representation is bigger than what you do in a 12-round fight or a 10-round fight. Right? Representation is about what your name and your face do for the sport when someone who has never watched a boxing match sees you, right? It's about visibility. I said this before. It's about marketability. It's about influence. It's about whether you make somebody who wasn't a boxing fan want to become one, right? So I'm going to put 4 names on the table. But before I do that, I want to tell y'all about this heifer that's getting out of control, right? And her name is Caroline Dubois. Now, she's constantly calling for a fight with Alicia Baumgardner. In my opinion, that fight can be made a little bit down the line. I think she needs a bigger, more marquee fight. And now she's about to fight Terry Harper, which, Alicia already beat. But she's about to fight Terry Harper on April 17th. So we'll see how she does in that fight. Her last fight, she looked absolutely amazing. Don't get it twisted. I think Caroline Dubois is a dog, right? But those of y'all who've been with me for a minute, y'all know I just can't stand when people be clout chasing and hitching they star to somebody else's wagon. I just can't stand shit like that. But nevertheless, she was over there on Najee, and she was talking real spicy.
Like that she's trying to avoid the fight based on talking
she
to them.
She knows what would happen in that fight. She 100% know. And I know that people would be like, Alicia's a former world champion. She's fought Michaela Mayer. She's beaten Michaela Mayer. She shouldn't be afraid of Caroline. And by some meanings, they're right. But I think Alicia knows. She knows she's a gimmick. She knows she's a fluke. And she knows that the loss is coming. It's coming. And I think she's scared of that. She's building her brand off of being this, this champion fighter, this woman who's serving looks and hooks and this, that, and the other. But when you lose and when you get beat up because that's what's going to happen, it's not going to be just an outboxing. It's not going to be a 10-point win. It's going to be a knockout. It's going to be brutal. Her face is going to be messed up. And how do you come back from that? And I don't think she can come back from that. I think her ego has gotten too big, and the image she's pushing of herself is going too huge that she won't be able to come back.
Okay. Obviously she's talking real spicy about the face and the face. But hey, Star Girl, to answer your question, from the interview that I watched with Alicia Baumgardner, originally she offered the fight to Tierra Brown. Tierra Brown turned down the fight, so she went to the next girl, who was actually this girl. So in actuality, I'm assuming then that her and Caroline just swapped opponents, because Alicia already beat Harper too. You know what I mean? And I guess around those weight classes, it's not that many different women that they can be fighting. So I'm just going to assume that that's the reason that she's fighting her, because Tierra Brown turned her down. And this was the one who accepted the fight next. So who knows? They done swapped opponents, child. Who knows? They over there playing like Destiny swap, if you ask me. I don't know. But this was a little bit of their back and forth between her and Harper. And I thought, because like I said, I think Caroline Dubois is a dog too, and I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. I'm not one of these people that would be like, oh, no, they shouldn't fight. No, I believe they should. You know me, I don't give a damn. Squabble up, goddammit. But this was like some, I guess, behind the stage footage that they didn't show.
And got a high ceiling. Is this the best time to get her? Now, before she gets to that ceiling?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think she's making a mistake?
I think this is what it all comes down to for Terry. I think she's going to retire. She's going to say, I fought the best. And that's, credit to her. That's what she's going to say. That's all she can say. I fought the best, but never I beat them.
I thought that was deep. She didn't even have a response. I was like, well, damn, say something. Pinch her, kick under the table, do something. But Jesus Christ. Okay. So listen, I'm going to ask y'all my questions again. I'm going to give y'all the names and then y'all just tell me, right? Because I said, who do we want to represent the sport of women's boxing? For me, as a woman, I would like somebody who is attractive, you know. Pretty people are always better to look at, let's just be honest. Somebody who has style and moves with a purpose, you know, somebody with a little dignity, a little grace. Okay, so we're gonna just do this. I'm gonna say Alicia Bumgardner, right? When we talk about visibility, presence, and modern appeal, Bumgardner is in that conversation, right? She belongs there. She has the look, she has the engagement, she commands attention when she walks into a room. You know, she steps through those ropes. She is someone who can reach audiences, right? That do not typically watch boxing and kind of pull them in, right? She can open doors to new fans, new conversations, and a sport that is actively fighting to grow its reach and expand its audience. You need people who can do that, right? And in my opinion, Bumgardner is one of them. So Alicia Bumgardner is the first name that I'm throwing out there. Next name I'm going to put out there is Clarissa Shields, you know, the GOAT. You know, when it comes to, I guess, sheer dominance in those ropes, you know, the accomplishments to what has actually been done, I guess, at the highest level of women's boxing outside of fighting 3-minute rounds, Shields, you know, is the argument, I guess, right? Like, if we're just going to keep it real, she is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, multiple world championships across multiple weight classes. She's done things in the sport that many, you know, not many people have replicated, right? And she does have a competitive fire. She's very ferocious, right? It's exactly what you would anticipate the face of boxing would be inside of the ring, right? But like I said, we're talking about representation in totality. So not just inside the ring, but outside the ring as well, you know, like role model stuff, you know, things like that. Okay, so far we have Alicia, we have Clarissa, Katie Taylor. She has a legacy. She's professional. She has global reach. She's someone who's elevated women's boxing on an international scale in ways that very few people, you know, have managed to do. Right? Did you come on?
Yeah,
I thought I
I'm here,
added you.
sis.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. Yeah. So, like I said, Katie Taylor, you know what I'm saying? Her fights specifically that, you know, the ones against Serrano are historic. You know, she showed the entire world that women's boxing deserves to be on the biggest stage. You know, everybody watched those fights. And I think that was one of the most watched boxing events for women, period. You know, her longevity. She represents what it means to be a true professional in every sense of the word and globally. Like I said, you know, her name carries weight. Amanda Serrano, she's consistent, she's tough, you know, she just has heart, she just never quits. She's 7 division world champion, 7. You know, she keeps showing up, she keeps performing at the highest level. Let me see. What else can I say about her? You know, her record of showing up and delivering, she's unmatched in women's boxing. What does she have, like 44 fights, 46 fights, or something like that? And her fights, particularly, like I said, the Taylor fight, you know, show that she has that dog in her too. She's also dropped her WBC belt in addition with Alicia Bumgardner to be able to fight 3-minute rounds. You know, that's historic in its own right. You know, dropping belts that you fought for to be able to fight 3-minute rounds because the WBC does not allow women to fight 3-minute rounds. You know, so those are the 4 names. I mean, obviously they're all amazing. They're all great. I'm just talking about like the top names that you may think of when you think about the sport of boxing. Not to say that the Tammy Tiburones aren't great. Not to say that the Ellie Scottneys aren't great. Not to say that Chicken is not great. Not to say that Sharetta Metcalf, you know, O'Shea Jones. Not to say that any of these women are not great. I'm just giving y'all some of the names that we think of readily when we think of women's boxing. Right. So y'all tell me. And like I said, in totality, guys, we're not just talking about in the ring. We're talking about outside the ring. Like I said, for me as a woman, I want somebody who has style and grace. You know, only time you know they're a boxer is if they tell you. You know, I don't want you walking around here looking like, you know, you bench press men. I certainly don't want you walking around here saying you want to fight a man. You know, I want us represented in the best way possible because we're starting to get the recognition we deserve. And I don't want it tainted by ghetto foolishness, by Zeus activities. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. So she's fighting puppies. Who's fighting puppies? You better start behaving over here, Star. Don't come over here. Behave over here. What's up, Cam? What's up?
Yo, what's good, sis? What's good? It's
She
crazy.
got
I
that as
don't
always a
see
light skin
myself on the
syndrome.
screen. It's
I don't
weird.
see you on the screen either.
Yeah,
What's
I
up,
don't
though?
know. Not much. Just chilling, man. Just listening to it. It's crazy, man. Alicia. There you go. Okay. Alicia, man. I think she making her work doing her thing, man. I think, a lot of people, believe Carolina is ducking her. I think it's a little bit more gassed up due to Clarissa speaking about it. So that's where the little fuel comes from that. And then, Carolina's pushing that in every interview. She just did an interview with Ring Magazine speaking about Alicia just now that just dropped an hour ago. So the content is covered out, man. So, I mean, Envy, that fight is going to happen. I've been on record saying I believe that fight is going to happen. Whether it happened this year, I don't think so. I mean, and we got to add context with Alicia. She has always been on record talking about fighting Amanda Serrano and stuff like that. So, and Amanda Serrano, as far as I'm concerned, she's not retired. You know what I mean? And she's still out here getting it cracking. So, that's a fight that can happen with.
Hold on, Cam. You right. You right, Aircraft. I'm so sorry. Gabby Fundora. How could I forget Gabby? She should come over here and step on my damn toe. Gabby Fundora is an absolute wrecking ball on two stilts of legs. I want her to move up a little bit because the women that she's fighting now, I just don't feel like she's being challenged by them whatsoever. But yes, Gabby Fundora is also a name that we need to pay attention to and think about when we're talking about representing women's boxing to the fullest capacity.
She's going to have to make a move to MVP. She's going to have to make a move to MVP soon, probably.
Yeah. So, Rich, of course, Rich, of course, we know you over there with that cape on for Clarissa. We don't know that to be true. So, who are you picking? Rick, are you still picking her? Or what you got going on? I don't know what you got going on. What that even supposed to mean? But, yeah, no, I completely I get it. And Rick, I heard you say you don't want your woman showing her butt. Sure, you're right. Listen, she's serving looks and hooks, baby. I don't know what to tell you. The other one showing her ass too.
I'm about to say Clarissa be showing her ass too.
In another way. She show her ass in more ways than one. So that's that. But
did you see the song? You see the song?
No, hold on. Star, do you know why Devin is suspended? Do you know why? Is it because of that situation in New York? I need to know why the young man is suspended, honey. I need to figure that out because and do he know he's suspended while he running around here acting like somebody ducking and dodging him? Do he know that? I just got some questions. Mother got a lot of questions. But go ahead, Ken. What you were saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Devin. I think the situation is pertaining to that situation that happened with Tiger Johnson. That's what I believe so too. I've seen Blue in the comments mention that earlier, and that makes sense because I was wondering last night too when I was looking at it. I was like, man, that's crazy right there. Because you texted me the other day and you showed me this. I'm like, man, how the hell this happened right here? And then I was sitting there thinking, and then Blue mentioned it, talking about the Tiger incident. I was like, I mean, that makes sense, but at the same time, he didn't. What action was he involved in that shit? We seen him running. He was running out of the door.
Like I told you, I heard what Bill said on Mill City. I'm not going to repeat it because, like I said, I'm waiting for text verification. But yeah, he made an allusion anyway that there was paperwork put out, and they're not allowed, I guess, in New York anymore or in the Garden. So I know he hasn't been suspended this whole time. So I was wondering if that had something to do with it. So when Blue said that, I was like, you know what? That was one of the things that I was thinking. Yeah, this was recent. So I went up there. I forgot why I went to his box rec. I went up there because I was trying to count his knockouts again, right? I happened to look.
A sick individual.
I am. I really am. So I went up there to count his knockouts again, and I was like, "Wait a goddamn minute! Why is he suspended?" And I was like, "He fought Brian Norman back in November." Then I went to Twitter and I started looking at the tweets. Child, I said, "Well, why is this ninja up here talking about somebody ducking them, signing the contract, this, that, and the third, and you suspended, wasting mother's time, wasting mother's damn time. So I don't know. But yes, I really don't know. I hope that's the reason. Obviously, they'll be able to work that out. You know, they'll figure that out, I'm sure. But yeah, it was just a question. I was like thrown when I saw that, because I'm like, wait a minute, why is he suspended again? But we'll see. We'll see how this all pans out.
Yeah, I can confirm the Tiger incident too.
Does it? Let me see that. Let me bring that back up. Because it says April 30th.
I talked to my brother about that. Our brother about that Tiger shit. As far as what's out there about Tiger on this incident with Mr. Devin Haney.
Oh, you're right, Creole. You're right, Creole. He's done with the suspension in April. So yeah, maybe that is it. I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate. Do he have? Devin got like what, 6? I know he ain't had one since 2019. Honey, I got thrown off when I seen that suspension. Mother started going into detective mode then. I was like, well, what the hell is going on over here? But that probably is the reason. It could be the only reason, because Devin ain't really doing nothing. Let's be honest. He don't really get into a lot of trouble. So that has to be the reason. The suspension. But like Creole said, it ends in April, so he'll still be able to make his May 30th fight with Rolly, and maybe that is the reason he hasn't signed that contract yet. Maybe he has to wait and see, you know, if the suspension is lifted or whatever the case may be. Maybe that's the reason that he hasn't, you know.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but
that boy, I'm still wondering why they ain't signed that contract.
Well, like I said, this could be a reason. After the Ryan injuries, what are you talking about? He fought again already, DJ. He fought Brian Norman after that, baby. So he wouldn't have still been suspended, or he wouldn't have been able to fight Brian Norman, DJ. I don't know what you're talking about,
this suspension is recent. Because
this is very recent.
Tag on his box rec like a week ago.
He didn't.
Literally.
He didn't. Oh, okay, Curtis. They said it's going to be lifted on the 30th. Well, hopefully. And then he can maybe come on out of the suspension, child, sign that paper, and let's see what's popping. But again, this whole September 5th thing, I didn't see that posted nowhere but their Instagram. So obviously they're trying to push that.
You can still lock in while you're or with the suspension still.
Yeah.
You can still lock in. I mean, they ain't got no time, because May 30th will be coming here no time soon. They need some time to promote it. That's why I think it might end up being in June, possibly. I won't be surprised they end up having a fight in June if they fight Rolly. I'm starting to be a little weary.
I told you what I said, but nobody don't believe me. I ain't gonna say it again either. When it pop out true, I'm just gonna repost my live that I said it on.
I want to ask you too, because we two, we think alike, about a lot of things. What do you think about the Haney's not pressing Rolly on all the extra testing?
You know why they're doing that? For one, I think they're looking at Rolly like a lick, which I think is possibly a mistake. But and they know he got power, so I don't know why they're doing, but I know why they're doing it to Ryan. Obviously because Ryan did, his test came back what they said. He didn't submit his supplements. The Ostarine came back in his system. So like I said, I understand all of that. I'm not sitting up here like, oh, I don't get it, why they're doing it. I understand that. It's just, when are we going to stop leaning on that? That's my only question. Like, I'm just tired of hearing it. Like, either fight them or don't. You know what I'm saying? But stop crying about the shit. Blue Hustle Man, what's up?
Blue was good, bro.
What's good with y'all? Nice talking with y'all and listening to y'all. What's up, everybody in the chat? And what's up to all the listeners? Bill and Devin had to turn themselves in. So from that incident. Now, I don't know how it's really affecting them, but the thing that I have a question about is, yeah, they got suspended for that incident, right? But at the same token, is it just for New York? Or is it for
because that's where it happened.
Boxing period? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think it's just
that's what happened.
Yeah. So I'm thinking the suspension is only for just a fight at that, in New York. So if they fight anywhere else, they're not suspended. I just think it's only with them.
Well, then they're going to have to move that fight, because didn't Rolly say it was going to be in New York, or do they have another venue in Vegas that they were going to make
Yeah, they
that fight?
was saying MGM.
Oh yeah, the MGM. That's right, the MGM.
Yeah.
Shout out to Creole the
So-
Traveler with the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Y'all
Creole,
smash the like
cool,
button
my
if y'all
boy.
have not smashed the like button already. So Blue, you think that's why he's suspended? Possibly, because that suspension
Yeah.
is new. It wasn't there that
Yeah.
whole time. So
Yeah,
it's possible.
because Tiger, he pressed charges. You know what I'm saying? He doing whatever he can. He felt like he was violated. So I mean, I respect. I
don't know.
I can't really
I
sit
didn't-
there
I-
and pass judgment. And if you're a fighter and you can't fight in the ring, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and that's just how he feels. So he went and proceeded forward with, doing what he do. So.
Yeah, I'm not upset. I'm not upset if that is the situation. I don't know. Like I said, I have to make a phone call to verify that. But I did hear Bill say that, and I did hear him tell Mill City that he told Mill and Zab Judah that. So I don't know. But if that is the case, and that is why he's suspended, I don't know why they would put that suspension on his box rec though. Like I'm pretty sure he got a letter or a court situation where they told him you can't fight in this arena, but why is he suspended from boxing?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That doesn't make
Maybe
a lot of sense to me. Yeah, I know that aircraft carrier. That's what I'm trying to figure out though, because if they already, because from what Bill said, they spend a night, you know what I'm saying? And now there's some sort of paperwork involved or whatever the case may be. I don't really understand how that's affecting his box rec. I just don't get that. That's just not, it's not adding up to me. But I'm nosy enough. I'll figure that out. I am nosy enough, honey. Oh God! But
maybe it is across the board. Maybe somehow it got across the board, and it was just not in New York. I don't know.
I don't know, but that's who he's suspended by, the New York State Athletic Commissions. That's who he's suspended by. So I'm not sure what's happening, but nevertheless, you know what I'm saying, he's suspended. We know why Ryan is suspended. He just fought. What do you think about what Keyshawn had going on with Abdullah Mason, the whole deal that Top Rank was able to settle with DAZN, the fights that are coming up right now? Carolyn Dubois, Alicia Baumgartner situation. Who do you want to see represent the sport of women's boxing? Like I said, it has more to do than what's out inside the ring. We need somebody in totality. We need a package. You know what I'm saying? Because it has to be somebody that endorsements want to get behind. It has to be something that they want to invest in. So, what are your thoughts, Blue? Rio, you think Rody whoops Devin? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Well, let me start with Keyshawn first. I feel like Keyshawn was clout chasing. I mean, and Mason's dad kind of put it on blast a little bit. He's like, man, you can't even make 135. How you gonna fight? So it's like it's like they said, even Abdullah Mason said, man, you king of trolls. You trolling right now. He got on the phone, act like he was talking I don't know if he was acting like, I don't know that.
What's looking so damn hard. I'm like, I can't see if that phone is lit up or not, because I was looking to see too if he was really on the phone with Jay Prince or not. You said Caroline wasn't one of the options, baby, but I'll write that down, Rick, baby. Go ahead, Blue.
Yeah, and I like how Abdullah Mason basically said, man, you trolling right now. You ain't even on the phone. You ain't talking to him right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like Keyshawn, he's clout chasing. He's doing what he do to stay relevant. And all these fighters, they do it some might do it a lot more than others, but all these fighters, they clout chase. Every single fighter clout chases. You have to. That's how you stay relevant. You know what I mean? You do call outs. You do what you do.
You think so?
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, that's part of boxing. I mean, think about it. You stay relevant. You keep your name in circulating. You keep your name circulating. And I'm not saying I condone. Like I can see why he's doing it. Keyshawn's doing it. You see what I'm saying? And you got to do what you got to do to stay relevant. Now, I will say this. I do feel like Like when it came down to
Oh,
it,
okay, Curtis.
from
Mm-hmm.
seeing that interview, I honestly feel like Keyshawn kind of got humbled at the end when Mason's dad kept saying, like, look, bro, you ain't making 135, you just trolling. Like he was coming at him. And then he tried to
Mm-hmm.
come at him first saying that you just another Bill Haney. So it's like, come on, man. Like, I just think that Keyshawn got a little humbled. So because the way he started talking after, you know, after they kind of walked off was kind of like is kind of like he didn't have that same energy. Like when he ran into Richardson Henderson, he kept that same energy throughout the whole interview. You see what I'm saying? It was the whole interview, that same energy. But this one, it kind of died off at the end when he was like, dude, you can't even make them wait. What are you talking about? Like, you're king of trolls. Like, he was just, like, they were just speaking their opinion. But it was like
Right.
it was just, I liked it. I liked the back and forth. That's what I will say. I liked it, even from both sides, even Keyshawn's part and their part. So I liked it. But the face of boxing when it comes to women, I think for right now we got to keep Clarissa there, and until somebody else comes up and then either dethrones her or starts moving moving in a certain way to where you see that you can say like, oh yeah, that person right there is the face of boxing. You know what I'm saying? That for when it comes to women, that person right there.
Um,
So I'm looking for something like that.
um, when you say moving differently, what do you mean?
Are you talking about well, just like with the outside antics? Because you said you like the outside antics too, correct? That's what you have to consider
No.
there.
No, I said we
I
need
mean,
to
how they
factor
handle.
things outside of the ring as well, how they handle themselves,
No, no, no.
if they're marketable, if they're, you know what I mean? Because you have to have
Yeah, that's what
a
I'm talking
face,
about.
a woman that people want to endorse. You know what I'm saying? To get them out there, to get the widespread notability for women's boxing out there. That's how you do it, through endorsements. That's how you get your bag up. That's how you can bring a lot more attention to the sports. Endorsements. People have to want to invest in
Yeah,
you.
yeah, and that's what I'm talking about when you were saying what you're saying. I'm not talking about a
Hmm.
negative antics or anything like that. I was talking about that. It's outside the ring and also inside the ring. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I felt like there's there's some good candidates, but they still have to go through the motion of having some more fights. I believe, like I think the Dubois is a good one for it. The way she's talking, her confidence. It's not about to me. It's not about just being the prettiest. It's about everything, the all around, like you
No,
were
of course
saying.
not. And listen,
So
and that's exactly it. And I don't get me wrong. I didn't just choose
and
her
Gabby too.
um
Yeah, and Gabby too.
because I think she's pretty. I chose her because she's pretty. She's marketable. She's very well spoken. She
Hmm.
she knows how to conduct herself in a business situation and in public. She's also distributed that she can be a leader in the sport by dropping the WBC belt that she fought hard to get in order to fight 3-minute rounds, which is amazing. So when I talk about the face, I'm looking for leadership. I'm looking for something that little
Yeah,
girls can look up to. I'm looking for someone that, can represent us in a more professional light. You know, um,
yeah.
I don't know. I just want to see a woman that's a little bit more feminine. Like, just because you're a boxer don't
Well,
mean you have to be a butch. You know what I'm saying? Or to be extremely aggressive. Like, I'm sorry, the woman that I want to represent me, I don't want her out here challenging men. Stand in your femininity. Appreciate the fact that you are a woman and you can whoop ass. That in itself is fine. I don't understand why the extras is necessary. I need someone who's confident, who exhibits some type of self-respect, some sort of confidence, and I just don't get that from Clarissa. And
yeah,
I get it, right? Like, it is just what it is. She is who a lot of y'all think of when y'all think of women's boxing. To me, when y'all say women's boxing, the first face that pops in my head is honestly Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano has almost 50 fights. You know what I'm saying? She has a lot of knockouts, or at least double-digit knockouts. She's also fighting 3-minute rounds, so just women making strides in the sport. You know what I'm saying? That whole thing that she did with Tito Trinidad and Puerto Rico for her people. She continues to do training with the children and stuff. Just someone that you can be proud of, someone that endorsements would happily get behind, because let's be honest, people don't want to take gambles on you if you're out here acting erratic. They want to make sure that you're representing their brand and their business to the utmost. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
yeah. Can I ask you something real quick though? How do you feel
Yeah.
if Clarissa would have dropped, the belt, one of her belts, you know what I'm saying? to do that, would you be okay? Would you be more willing to say that she is the face of boxing, and she would have took
I mean, she
initiative?
is the face of boxing. You know, as much as I can't stand her, I just have to give the credit where it is due. I know a lot of y'all consider her the face of women's boxing. You know what I mean? That's just what it is.
Mm.
But I just mean, for me personally, if I had my choice, it would not be her. I understand her Olympic gold medals. You know, obviously we can never take her accomplishments away from her. Those will go down in history. I'm strictly talking about her out of the ring behavior, which is what I've always talked
Yeah.
about. You know, we can't deny her skill set. A lot of people say it's not her fault. She doesn't have a lot of people to fight. Well, I will say, on the flip side of that, nobody told her to go all the way up to 175 pounds either. You know what I'm saying? So I get it, you know, but I don't know. She only has 17 fights. She only has 3 knockouts. You know, her out of the ring activities sometimes can be a little hard to swallow, if I'm being honest. So, you know, I feel like, and that coupled with the fact that, you know, she was, what people tell me, the biggest champion for, you know, 3-minute rounds in women's boxing, yet you have not fought one of those yet. So how big of a champion were you for that? Because you're yet to drop one of your belts to fight 3-minute rounds. You know, set an example, spearhead an initiative. You know, she just hasn't done that. So for me, it's a no. But I recognize and understand that, you know, for a lot of y'all, she is the face of women's boxing. I get it.
Yeah.
Mr. Aircraft Carrier, act like you got some sense in here today. He talking about some Jake Paul is the face of. I'm gonna put you out of here today. I'm gonna put you right out of here. I'm gonna put him right out of here today. I'm gonna put Aircraft right on out of here today. I'm gonna put him right on out of here today.
That's my boy, man. I'm fucking with
Can I ask
Aircraft.
you something real quick?
I love
though?
Aircraft.
Jab
I
Queen?
love Aircraft. Yes.
So when you have somebody like kind of like, are you okay with people timing people out? Because I wanted to time somebody out earlier when they were in the chat, but I didn't because I didn't know how you felt about that.
Well, you got a wrench for a reason. Don't just look at it, use it. You know,
Yeah,
don't
no, I
abuse it,
understand. I
but
just
use
wanted,
it.
but you know, sometimes people say, "No, let's this." You know, certain
Yeah,
people
no,
have different
listen.
rules.
If they listen, y'all, if people are in the chat talking crazy, acting like they lost their damn mind, then you're more than welcome to time them out. Don't time them out just because they disagree with you or something stupid
Yeah,
like
that's the
that. But if they in the chat talking stupid, get them out of here. That's what you got
Yeah,
a
like
wrench
that.
for.
Yeah,
Use
like
it or
that
you
one
will lose
gentleman,
it.
whatever his name is, whatever he was in, he was just talking crazy, and I was like, man, I want to time him out, but nobody was doing it. So I was thinking like maybe you might have some kind of like, you know, like you
No,
were
let me
okay
tell
to
you
a
something,
certain
Lou.
extent.
Let me tell you something, honey. I do not get involved in security's business, honey. I am in the penthouse.
Okay,
Whatever
okay.
security do is what security do. Okay, we
I
not
got you.
throwing
I got
people out because they're a different fan base. We not that petty. I don't care what fan base you belong to. Come over here and enjoy the conversation, contribute to the conversation in at least an educational or at least a halfway decent way. I don't give a damn if you disagree with me. Who the hell am I? This ain't the general. You know what I'm saying? You can disagree. Just make sure you have some sort of facts or at least some sort of logic in your disagreement, and we can go back and forth all day. This is what it's about. You know what I'm
And
saying?
some
But don't be
respect.
coming over here talking to me like you crazy. You come over here talking to me like you crazy, you getting clapped. You know, rock-a-bye, baby. I don't know where you thought you was at. You better recognize eyes. But yes, Blue, you have a wrench for a reason,
Okay.
baby.
Okay, I got you. Cool. I just want to make sure that's all.
Rick Timms, Caroline isn't overly ghetto, not in a daily drama. She keeps boxing with her trash talk, doesn't address like that. Yes, Rick, I can agree with you, but I feel like we don't know enough about her yet. She hasn't really made her mark yet. If she gets like a real marquee fight, yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Blue. You see what Cash is Cash, my brother, and Miss Joette, they are head of security. So if you act a fool, he will time you. He said, do not be timing people out because they're talking about Shakur, Blue. Okay.
Let me find out, Blue. That's what you are.
Hey, look. Cash better get off the gas with that one, bro. That's messed up.
Y'all act like y'all crazy up
That
in
was
here.
a good
Y'all
one. That
always
was a
acting
good
like y'all
one.
crazy. What's
Hey,
up,
that was a
Dean?
good one. That was a good one. What up, Dean?
What's going on, Blue Hustle, man? What's up, Jab
What's
Queen? What's
up?
the deal?
What's up,
going
baby?
on?
How you doing?
Dude, what's good, bro?
I'm chilling. I got a little bone to pick, Jab Queen. Where you been at? What's going on? Huh?
I've been at work.
Are you
Where
been
I'm supposed to
working?
be.
Oh, you been
Yeah.
getting that money? All right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure you been at work. I done missed you. That's all.
Oh my
That's
goodness. He
all.
said, make sure I've been at work. Let me find out. Let
I
me
mean,
check
I'm
my
just saying.
situation.
I'm just saying, Jad Queen. I ain't seen you. I've been live. I ain't seen you. I know you've been okay, but I ain't seen you. I
Well,
just wanted
last
to
week I
make
was
sure.
transforming into a man. I was sick, but yeah, I've been working like a goddamn slave, man. I got
No,
a
I
lot of
understand.
birthdays coming up. I got to get my shit together. But yes, I am here, Love Bunny. What did I miss? What's happening that I didn't cover? I told y'all
Oh,
you
you
know,
covered
obviously you
everything.
know about Xander. Okay,
Yes.
good. I just want to make sure. Do you know why Devin is suspended? Do you think it's what we think too because of the Tiger situation?
Or it could because of that micro dose that Brian Norman was talking.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Oh my goodness!
Blue
Oh
Hustle,
my
man.
God!
It could have been because of that. What Brian Norman was talking about. You know, I honestly don't jab Queen, all jokes aside. Yes, I think that is why. Because it
Because
happened in
that
New York.
just
It's from New
happened.
York State, right? It's from New York
Yeah,
State, right?
the New York State Athletic Commission. Yeah, they are the ones who issued the, I guess, suspension. So I don't know what's happening. But then my question is, why are you running around here telling people to get on Nevada and sign the contract and all this other kind of stuff if you suspended? I mean, do you know you suspended? Because you out here talking greasy.
The first person, Jab Queen, that would know he was suspended is Devin Haney, Jab Queen.
That's what
He
I'm
would
trying to
know.
say. So why is you out here telling people they need to sign? I mean, he hasn't signed the Rolly contract, so that could be a reason why that he hasn't signed the contract either, because he knows he's suspended. But whatever. The suspension ends. What'd you say, Creole? The end of April, baby? I think Creole said the end of April. But
Yeah, I checked that. Yeah.
yeah, the end of April. So what did you think about the Keyshawn situation pressing my little baby? Pressing on my little
I think
baby.
it's cowardice. I think Greg Hackett did a great job, Jab Queen, at
I did
breaking
see
that down.
that.
You
I
saw that,
did
right?
see that.
That was
Yeah.
amazing. He said everything you heard him said. I think it was cowardice. Hold on, Jab Queen.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was cowardice. I think that he didn't have that same energy for Delos Santos. Greg said that your daddy was out here from Cuba, your father from Cuba. Your father
Yo,
from Cuba, he had 135 too, Jab Queen. Go fight his ass.
wait. But you know what's crazy though, D? When I was watching it, I'm like, Keyshawn father, he from Cuba. And I was like, oh my God, he's talking about Andy. Because just the way he was saying it was such a matter of fact. I was like, this nigga Greg is crazy.
It's crazy. And I just think Jab Queen, he got picks. I think he got a lot of picks, and I think that
He only does that to I've only seen him ever do that to Abdullah. He didn't do it like what you call it said. He didn't do it to Frank. He doesn't do it to Andy. He doesn't do that to anybody. The only person I've ever seen him do that to was Abdullah. Even when he was going back and forth with Richardson Hitchens, he ain't had that energy. You know what I'm saying? That last little club scene we seen with him and Ryan, he didn't really have that energy. Like he carries like almost like a jealous energy towards Abdullah.
Yes.
Like I don't know if it's like a top rank thing or like what it
Hey,
is,
Jab
but
Queen, have
you
you ever
know.
been around a female that keep poking at you, but because you quiet and you keep it, she think that she can go further. He's a bully, Jab Queen. We know these type of people. They go further, and then that one person we try to tell him, Jab Queen, you ever tell one of your homegirls or your homeboys, yo, leave him alone, man. Leave him alone, man. I'm trying to tell you, leave him alone. And then the one that's meek and kind of quiet whoop their ass, and now they over there want everybody to
It's
jump
always the
in.
quiet ones. It's always the quiet ones. And that's why I said, like, I don't know about, Abdullah, because we know he's not a rah-rah type of guy. He don't do social media. He just seems like he's from a good family, a good home. So he seems like he was raised right. That's like, I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, I don't really like that because this is like almost the second time that he tried to like pump Abdullah. And I'm like, I don't think Abdullah's scared of him, but I just don't think Abdullah kind of knows how to do the dozens type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we know how to, like, if somebody try to come for you and you go back at them, they kind of leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? Like he just doesn't seem to me. I mean, he said what he needed to say. He was like, whatever, I'll see you in the ring, or you get another belt, I'll take that too. You know what I'm saying? He was standing up for himself. He just wasn't very vocal. I let my hands do the talking. But when you got just cameras flashing and all you hear is Keyshawn kind of getting a little rowdy, and it looked almost like Abdullah's not sure of himself, it kind of looks like I said, from the outside looking in, because I already know Abdullah is mean as hell in that ring, and I'm not really sure who would win that fight. But that was
Jab
another one of my
Queen.
questions. Like, Do you think that we should still be slow rolling Abdullah, even though he has a belt, or should we just let him off the porch?
Jab Queen, he's off the porch. You know what it is,
Yeah, he
Jab
got a
Queen.
belt.
We ever seen Blue Hustle?
That's
Man,
what
you
I'm
ever been
saying.
around
That's what
somebody,
I'm
y'all?
saying.
Y'all ever been around somebody, y'all, and they think that you playing Abdullah? No, like Jab Queen, you ever had words with a female? And then she try it again the second time. You're not going to entertain it the way you gonna be like, bitch, get out my face. I ain't trying with you. Yeah, whatever. Okay, you going to do, you is. Oh, okay, mom, my back. That was Abdullah's mom. This the third time, gang. Didn't you apologize to me for hating behind my back, but being in the locker room after Dame hopped on your ass on social media? Wasn't that you, Keyshawn? See, I'm the reason that he apologized, Jab Queen. I don't know if you know that. Dame is the reason Keyshawn apologized the first time with Abdullah. Because my tweet went kind of viral that he did some sucker shit with Abdullah. He told me I was taking it too serious, and then he went back and apologized. Am I lying, Cam? So it's just like, I just think, like I said, Joe, it's a little jealousy, Jab Queen. I agree. It's a little jealousy. I think it's a little threat. Like Abdullah is like over his shoulder. But to be honest, Jab Queen is more of what Abdullah said. Man, when you move up, I'm going to take your other belt. Because every time I move up, you going to move up. That's the truth, Jab Queen.
Facts. Facts.
Hey, let me add on to what Dean was saying.
What's going on, D1? What's up, baby?
I think that also, the part that really I like that he said is, you king of trolling. I like that.
Yeah.
And then I like his humbleness, and I like how his dad, he don't, like you said, he let his fist do the talking, but his dad also stepped up and was like, look, you ain't gonna sit there and try to punk my son, try to bully my son. Because just like you said,
but that's the part I didn't like. That's the kind of part I didn't like.
That's because at the presser,
yeah, I ain't like that either, Jab Queen.
At the presser, he did it twice. He did it before. So yes, this is the second time I've been putting that out there. That's why I'm like, man, come on, stop trying to look. You're presenting yourself as a bully right now. Then you want to come off all we cool, but your first initial is you bullying people, and you shouldn't try to be. Man, you got to be more humble. You see what I'm saying? Because that could put you in a mental to where when you in that ring, somebody might bully you mentally because you can't do what you want to do to them. You see what I'm saying? So, karma is something to me, that is. That's just my opinion about that when it comes to karma. But anyways, I just like how, that's why I said I felt like he got humble. I'm going to say it again at the end because he didn't carry that same energy. You see what I'm saying? Like he did with everybody else that he's confronted. Like with Richardson Hitchison. He had that same energy throughout the whole interview, no matter what. And then all of a sudden, you see that he turned around. Like when Mason's dad was saying what he was saying to him, you king of trolls, you can't even make 135. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So it's like
they were saying everything too. They was like you couldn't make 135. You were drinking. All this. I was like, oh Lord, child, they bringing out all the dirt.
That's why I said he got humble. He got humble.
They asked Keyshawn what weight, and then he deflected, talked about. Oh, he talked about whenever. Like you deflected, what weight class is the fight going to be at, Keyshawn? Like you talking about it could be 140, but last week you just announced that you're going to 147, so make it make sense.
Yep.
Right.
Hold on. Go ahead, Crush, what's going on? Crush, what's up?
Crush, my
Rich, what's up
brother.
with y'all?
Too Rich, what's good,
what up
bro?
with your OG Crush?
What up, everybody? Listen, man.
Turn it
Let
up,
me
Crush.
Abdullah handled this dude the way he was supposed to get handled. Let me tell y'all somewhere I come from. See, I read the temperature and I read the room. See, the loudest motherfucker in the room ain't always the most dangerous one in the room. And this boy was switching up his words the whole damn time, so he wasn't bullying anything over there with this young man. He ain't bully shit over there, cause the boy had a checkmate for him the whole time. But people locked in on this dude being loud and they saying nothing like the James Brown song. Listen, I know this shit. I ain't saying y'all know nothing. This boy ain't built like that. He too animated. He's not that much experience than him, y'all. He's not. Matter of fact, they got the same experience. They turned pro the same year. Abdullah got 6 more motherfucking fights. I'm a little more rounds in. Okay? He got to tighten up on his day. That's something to eat. It's like tying your shoe fucking lace. Somebody got something to worry about in them 14 fights. outside of Jermaine Ortiz or Whoopi Do. It's not no future Hall of Fame or pound for pound guy and all this shit that this guy keep getting praised for. He ain't fought none of this shit yet. So how the hell is he on this level? The eye test can be delusional sometimes. Sometimes we got to put on bifocals no matter how good we think our eye test is. Sometimes we all must put on bifocals. This boy ain't did nothing yet to let me know if he's on any level. So the question is not, is Abdullah ready for him? Because the guys that he was calling for, he simply ain't ready for. He ain't simply ready for no Devin, no Tinker, nothing. That boy would get his ass waxed. His ass waxed. He hasn't fought a damn thing to get him prepared for these guys like that. Nothing. And he ain't that damn special. He don't do it for me, and I'm being honest. Because once this boy get his ass cracked, the yolk gonna leak all over the place, and we gonna hear cry baby songs, cry a river. What I'm talking about, I can smell a chump for 1,000 miles away. He can fight. Yeah, but look what he's been up against. Who has he really proven himself in a proper way? We talking boxing. This dude never had a 50-50 matchup yet, so I ain't too excited for a motherfucker who got a fast track and he's moving around. Look like he's a plant. Look like he's a plant. He look like he's an industry plant. What has he really done? You know your boxing mind. You know your boxing odds. Fuck the excitement shit. Sometimes we get lost in excitement. But what have they really done? This boy ain't really did nothing against nobody special like that at all. I got this young boy Abdullah better than everybody he fought already. If you disagree, cool. If you agree, fine. Come on. This young boy is better than everybody. This dude fought in 14 fights. The only one to give him a problem, probably Jermaine Ortiz, and he would beat him too. I ain't too impressed until he really get in there with a dog, and he's afraid of that young man. Keep moving up, keep moving up. Just turn your name to George and Wheezy, motherfucker. You keep moving on up. You really want to, oh, you a pup and all that. How's he's a pup? Sometimes if you know about getting it in, sometimes you got to put a little motherfucker in there with the bigger guy so we know, or whatever the case may be, to know what they rolling with. That's why when you're special, real quick, let me land this jet. When you're special, when you're really special, that's why you had guys that was supposed to be in the 10 and 12 basketball league playing with the 14, 16. They was too young for his age, but they was advancing skill. That boy ain't like that, and I pass.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Crush. Damn. What's up, Too Rich?
Hey, what's going on, Jack Queen? What's going on,
How
pal?
you doing, baby? I'm good.
Hey, I'm doing
Too
great.
Rich, what's up, big bro? What's going on, bro?
What's going on?
What it does?
What
up with you, Too Rich? How you doing, homie?
All right, what's going on? But I'm gonna say this, man, and now I'm gonna say it like this. Keyshawn understands the art of clout chasing. It's an art to it. I don't know where people thinking in a sport where it's one-on-one that you don't call out the dude at the top. That's what you have to do. That's what you must do. The whole world is a clout chase. If you're a rapper and you'll get another famous rapper on your song, it's because you clout chasing. If you got a company, you go get a spokesman to speak and do your commercial because you clout chasing. So it's an art to clout chasing. That's why Keyshawn is a star. We don't know how great of a boxer he is yet. We don't know yet. He got to fight the fights. But as far as being a star, he has proven that he can garner attention. Okay, with all that said, it was definitely trolling. Now, we understand that them guys ain't finna fight no time soon. However, y'all know how niggas is. Niggas will press you. They will try you. They will move you back. They will go as far as you let them go. You see what I mean? So I think with Abdullah being young, he needs a little bit more training. Okay, son, in this situation, this is what you ought to do. This how you ought to react. You don't have to talk shit word for word with him, but this is what you're going to do. Train him on how to handle those kind of situations. You see what I mean? Because from my point of view, when I see Keyshawn, tell him to his face, I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to tell your dad, I'm going to knock you out. You not only chomping Abdullah, you chomping the whole family. You see what I mean? Now, he's trolling. That fight ain't finna happen, but he's using Abdullah to like further his fame. So okay, Abdullah, okay, at some point now, Abdullah, we're gonna have to stop this now. Next time this dude say something, this how you handle it. Or somebody needs to train him on that. Like you say, that art of shit talking. You know, we had that art back in the days, in the 90s and the 80s. Niggas could talk shit. These
Yeah,
guys,
honey.
yeah, we not quite sure about the shit talking game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying, because I picked Devin over Keyshawn or whatever because he talks so much shit. He's like a puppy, like a little hot-headed teenage. If you ever had a teenage pit bull, they bark around, they jump around, but you don't really sure if they hitting like that at the top. Very talented. Abdullah's very talented. We know all that. But I think just more about just the shit talking game. Not really a fight that's gonna happen, but just, hey, this dude pressing up on you like that. Look like he moving you back a little bit. Hey man, stand up there and get in that dude's face. And I ain't got shit to say, nigga. What's up? What's up? That's all it would have took. What's up? What's up? What's up? So that's all I'm saying. You know, in the industry, people are media trained a lot of times. Everything look like it comes off the cuff, but a lot of times shit is trained. So I just think you need a little bit of training when you're dealing with a hothead like Keyshawn. So you're not caught up. Like, I'm not sure exactly what to do. Do I stay poised or do I lose control? I just think him being young, he just don't quite know how to handle it. But however, we saw Terrence Crawford tell Eric Spence from the jump, I'm gonna stop you. And when you let niggas talk like that, they get confident when you don't handle it right then and there. So I do believe in the power of words. You see what I mean? So, you know, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to when I said that. Like, I just wish he was a little more vocal. I get it. He's Abdullah. You can tell he just comes from a good family. You can tell he don't really know how to trash talk. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he was afraid at all, but I do think that perception sometimes is reality. You know what I'm saying? And if you continue to let him run up in your face, because like I said, this was what, the second or third time he got all up in your shit, talking crazy to you. This time was worse than the last time. You know what I'm saying? This time was worse than the last time because he told you in your face he's gonna knock you out. You know what I'm saying? So every time gets a little more disrespectful. Like you said, too, Rich, he's pushing you as far as he can take you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just wish Keyshawn would cut this shit out.
Hey, Jab Queen, can I give an example?
Sure.
Just like y'all not hitting that like button and hitting that super chat and hitting that cash app with Jab Queen right now. It's the same thing. You know, y'all get up here, say, I love you and all of this other stuff and all that. But make sure if you doing anything, if you enjoy this boxing conversation, make sure you hit that like button, hit that super chat and cash app, to show Jab Queen that you actually really like the boxing conversation. If you understand, type understand. You feel me? That's all I got to say.
Right. What Too Rich, what do you think about the conversation I was having about the face of women's boxing? Did you see Caroline Dubois, her comments on Najee about Alicia Baumgardner and how she feels about that fight going? What do you think?
I mean, she looks to be a problem. She looks to be a problem. She has a style, but right now, I gotta say, Baumgartner has experience. I'm a guy that you got to show me type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still around with Gardner, but I like the boy's energy. She wants to prove it. I like people that want to prove it. They don't just want the fans to say, "Yeah, you good enough. You good." Prove that shit.
Exactly.
So I'm saying.
Right.
But when you're talking about the face, I don't think it has to be one face. But if we're going to say that, I think it's Clarissa, man. Because when you think about Baumgartner, she's the prototypical person that you would promote to be the face. Clarissa garners the attention without having to be promoted. Like, who is she signed to? I don't even know. But some kind of way, she garners attention. So I think it's organic.
But it's not good attention. It's not good attention, and that's another thing that I mentioned. It does matter, right? Because you have to be marketable. You have to be somebody that people want to endorse. You have to be somebody that people want to get behind. Outside of the Zeus network. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, well let me say this though. Like, I think we have a misconception that you become more famous when people like you. When actuality, you have to have a proportionate amount of people that like you and don't like you. That you have to be polarizing. That's what make a star, being polarized. You remember T.I. got caught with guns and all that. Next thing you know, he had reality shows. He had all this and that. We see that all the time. In the rap game, in the business, when a person too clean and people like them, they go to the airport and get arrested. They go do shit to get dirty. to make people have a problem. They manufacture it. You see what I'm saying? So she's able to do that naturally, be polarizing. And when you're polarizing, you create a debate. Think about the people we talk about. They all are polarizing, which creates a debate, which makes them a star. You see what I mean? It's organic. That's all I'm saying. It's organic. And I don't think you could take it away from us if you try.
I wouldn't necessarily say a star. I'll say it makes you maybe popular, but I wouldn't say it makes you a star. I do agree that maybe you have to have the same amount or at least a good amount of people that dislike you in order for you to gain some attention. But sometimes when it's lopsided, and we're not talking about like love and hip hop, right? We're talking about boxing where endorsements matter, right? Where that is pretty much how you get your bread and butter if you're not in the damn ring taking hits upside your damn head, right? You want people endorsing you. And the reason that I even brought this up is because, and I know y'all can tell I'm highly bothered by the fact that a lot of y'all call her the GOAT, right? The greatest woman of all time, yet she was nowhere near the biggest deal in women's boxing. Why is that?
But I think she is. I mean, who else is?
She's not. MVP signed with ESPN. Clarissa had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but she got her own deal. That's what I say. Who pushing her? Think about it. She's doing it without who is pushing her. We know Jake Paul pushing women boxing. Who is pushing Clarissa? It looked like she's doing it on her own.
She's doing it herself, and she's getting paid.
I mean, that's amazing. That is amazing. Huh?
Yeah, but I wanted to add some context to what he was saying.
Go ahead and finish. Y'all must have missed what I had to say about her, but okay.
Okay, so what I was gonna say, what I was gonna say, well, I'm quick too about it, so you got it, Fresh. What I was gonna say is, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, it's just staying relevant, and people they like good and bad. You see what I'm saying? So that's why she's relevant. She keeps herself relevant, and she's doing it. And I hate to say she's doing it kind of in a natural way. It's not like she's just being herself. So her being herself, people are actually saying like, okay, I don't like this about you because you're being yourself. Oh, I do like this about you because you're being yourself. So that's why she's relevant, and she is. And to me, my personal opinion, she's the GOAT. She is the GOAT. I mean, she can't do anything about the competition right now. All she can do is face whoever steps in front of her.
But she can though, and see, this is my issue, right?
So what do you?
I really want to know y'all definition of. I want to know y'all definition of a GOAT, right? Because I hear a lot of y'all say that, and I'm wondering if y'all really feel that way, or if she brainwashed y'all to feel that way. Because the very first person I ever heard say was the GOAT was herself, right? And it's been regurgitated so much that it seems like some of y'all are just in zombie land repeating it, right? So what makes her the GOAT? She has 17 fights, 3 knockouts. Yes, she is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Yes, she has multiple world champions, but 17 fights makes people a GOAT now?
I mean, ain't a lot of competition in boxing.
It's plenty of competition. If she slims herself down, right? Because nobody told her to go to 175. Nobody told her to do that.
Well, she told herself to do that because she won her booty. She won her booty.
Listen to how stupid that sounds when you're supposed to be a professional athlete. Y'all laughing, but I'm asking y'all, like, what is y'all criteria then for the greatest one of all time? What is y'all criteria?
I do not like the fact when she try to. I think she's an Instagram model. I do not like watching her eat on fucking live and shit, getting shit out of her teeth. I don't like none of that shit. However, I still see her. It's nobody else who will piss me off because they eating on live. You see what I'm saying? Nobody else would piss me off, but she pisses me off. It's something about it. I don't know. It's something. It's something.
Because
I don't know what it is.
She's keeping it raw. She's keeping it raw, and people relate to people that are raw.
Okay. Now, playtime is over, gentlemen. Y'all ain't got to be gentlemen about this damn situation now. Well, to all the bullshitting up here, respectfully, and ain't nobody answer the goddamn question. The question is, what makes her the GOAT? Now, we had 2 generations of women professional boxing. So you got to look at both generations. You're talking about the GOAT of women boxing. Not just this generation, but for one, what has she done for women boxing? Okay, stay silent. 2, What happened to her damn promotional company? Yeah, remember we was calling her T-Rex, and then all of a sudden she went to the GOAT. But what happened to T-Rex Promotions? We don't see, smell, or hear anything about that.
No. Yes, she does, because she just signed Danielle Perkins.
Okay, she just signed her. 2 people. Whoopie-doo. I'm not coming at you, Jab Queen, because you know we broke this down. Wow.
I know.
Yeah, she just signed her second person.
I want you to
right.
She does have people under her umbrella. I think Tony, what you call it, under there too. What's the name?
Okay.
Jamal knocked out. I think he's under her umbrella too.
Okay, but what the fuck are they doing?
Nothing. But I'm just,
okay. Yeah, because I mean, what makes her the damn GOAT? You know, a lot of factors come with that. Now to say that she has the best skill set out of both generations of women professional fight, you fucking capping your asses off. That girl don't even box. She fights. She fights. I'm talking about professional boxing. That's what we talking about. Her being a GOAT. I don't give a damn. She got what she got for them, her Olympic gold. We talking about professional boxing.
Right.
So that's to say somebody's the GOAT, and you put that out into the atmosphere. You got to make this real logical. Okay. Is she the biggest draw in women boxing? No, she's not. No, she's not.
She doesn't fight.
Has she? Exactly. So you know, it's like y'all giving her all this, and she don't own really no #1 spot in damn near any department of women boxing outside what a couple of weight classes, winning some shit. You know, trophies, not really showing and really proving that you're the best. She's the GOAT off of fighting Danielle Perkins, who only had 3 goddamn fights she just signed. What are y'all talking about? A GOAT or a GOAT? They supposed to be challenged. Where's the challenges? We ain't seen that. And don't give me she's like Jesus or Moses or something. Don't give me none of that nonsense. Where's the challenge at? And like she said, like Jack Queen said, and I'm gonna get up on out of here. I'm gonna pass. It ain't no competition. She's moving away from the damn competition. She started getting that damn money. Let me just keep it real. She started
Salute,
eating.
Patrick, baby.
She started to eat. She started to eat, and she started to get, put some pounds on because she started to eat good. And y'all know the state, and the state, the state, it takes a lot of work. Now, people can say they're putting in a lot of work, but we can tell they fucking blowing up and constantly blowing up. That weight she didn't even look good for as a physique as a heavyweight. Let's just be honest. Because she went up too damn big. In a weight class where there's nobody there. Well, it was just a half a dozen of fighters at that, and she getting GOAT status for that? For lack of competition, ain't nobody no goddamn GOAT. For lack of competition. Not
hold on. Hold on. The visuals, honey, I don't know if you just got here, but we're talking about the women that we would consider the face of boxing. So you can either contribute to the conversation in a little bit more of a logical way or just sit back and enjoy the show. Go ahead, Crush.
Yeah, so, I mean, if that's your opinion, don't bring it out as a fact. Because there's no facts connecting her to she's the goddamn GOAT. And I pass.
Thomas, it's on you, baby. You've been so quiet. Thank you.
Yes. Well, first and foremost, salute to the chat and shout out Jab Queen. As always, an excellent panel and excellent material. Content is on point. Shout out KMJ the Network. Blue Hustle, man. My guy, Too Rich. Mr. Respect Them Belts. The Master of Ceremony. The Grumpy OG. The greatest man alive. Crush the Mickey Freaky Legend. Shout out my good brother Sin Ironheart. The posts in these here YouTube streets. I'm gonna say this, man. Everybody said a lot of good stuff right now, and I don't disagree with anything that was said, and especially from my man Too Rich. Too Rich hit the point right on the head concerning that damn shit, that damn Keyshawn and Abdullah situation, you got one person that's slick of words. It's pretty good with talking and popping ish, versus someone who's humble and don't do much talking. Rather do they talking in the ring. And it could look a certain way, but trust and believe what the man said and the fact that the man was continuously looking him in his eyes and looking down on him in his eyes. And the last words had one person that was there too as well, Shushu, saying, hey, you couldn't have said that to me. You're going to have to do something because that look away. So even though he was over there popping off, trying to gain clout and trying to use this brother to show that I'm the person that y'all really need to focus and not worry about him, the person that is in the ring like him said, hey, look, dog, you going to have to handle that. But what they said was true. Like, you can't let that. It couldn't be me. That being said, man, I don't think Abdullah showed no fear in his eyes. He just not versed at talking ish and popping off and one-upping folk. He want to get in the ring. The only thing that I say he should have done in that moment was actually took his phone out and actually made the call and actually put it on speaker and had both.
Yeah.
That's what he should have done. Now, if he would have done that, we would have saw Keyshawn for the fraud he is, and that's what I would have done. And I would have said after we were done, see, like I said, because he did say it, all you do is talk. And then I just would have left it be. I don't talk. I do my talking in the ring. Now, if you want to make that fight, we can do it, but designate where you're going to fight so we can get closer to making that fight. Until then, stop using my name, stop speaking on my name, stop trying to gain shine on my name. And again, like he said, a lot of people love to talk and gain clout off of possible fights and fighting folks, but they really don't want these fights. We've been screaming this all along, but it's easier to see when it's on somebody that you don't really ride for. But this stuff happens all the time. Abdullah is somebody that they're going to start pushing, so he's going to be targeted. All he got to do is carry himself right, and he's going to be okay, because they're going to have to make the fight at some point in time.
If they ever in the same weight class again.
If they ever in the same weight class.
A little jealous. I feel like he's a little jealous.
Of course.
That's my opinion.
Of course. And you know, my man, the last time we really did see him, I mean, we did see him in the ring with Ortiz, but before that, it was a travesty. It was a big letdown, and it was everything. They brought out famous legends. They gave keys to the city. They named days after this dude. And then he had that nervous breakdown or whatever that meltdown was. So, you know, it was a bad look. So he has to recover. He's got to do whatever he can to do that. And that's part of the campaign. He's trying to bring people back to him. Yeah. You bring people back to you by, I mean, hey, let's be honest. It's entertaining, but you got to also entertain in that ring. So hopefully we get those fights from him that he say he looking for. You know, because right now he ain't got nothing.
He does.
I'm sorry, Jad.
I said he does do both. He does entertain in the ring, but I just don't like. I don't know, because I feel like you don't keep that same energy across the board. I think that's my biggest issue, right? Like he wasn't keeping that energy across the board. So he didn't have it with Frank Martin. He didn't have it with not even with Africa. You know what I'm saying? He popped it a little bit with Africa, but he wasn't popping it like, "Oh, I'm gonna knock you out," all of that. He wasn't saying all of that.
That's a fact. And I agree with Crush. I don't really believe he liked that. Me, myself, I don't believe he liked that.
Yeah, I don't think he is like that.
I don't believe. I agree with Crush. I don't think he's really fought the type of people, and I think a lot of them have not fought the type of people that we can say, see, that's what a real looks like. Now he does have ability. He does have boatloads of talent. He even got the right frame of mind, but you don't know what it looks like when it's up against something that you ain't been in there with. You know what I'm saying? Look at what happened when he did go against Wu Shiesty, and it was more difficult. He didn't look stellar in that match.
He didn't.
He didn't rise above. So, you know, and that's Wu Shiesty. Somebody who we said, oh, Frank Martin dirt for me. Yeah, it was the same dirt that was up in the ring with Keyshawn. Now, with the quote, I agree. Everything with what you said, I agree. Everything with what Crush said. I do agree that she is talented, but I do agree that she's more of a winger than a boxer. I think she loops her punches. She's just quick, and she puts them together nicely. But, you know, there is no competition where she is, and she really haven't been through great competition. Every fight that really she's been through, only the fights that she would do as rematches would be fights that are worth seeing, because everybody else, there's nobody there. That her fault? No. But to self-proclaim yourself the GOAT, I think, is to denigrate the sport and the women that came before you. There was a lot of great fighters in there. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, Layla. But here's my thing, right? And I'm not gonna say that because you still got to get the people out of there that come in the ring with you, right? So don't get it twisted, right? She has some level of skill, but
that's a fact.
She can if she got herself back in tip top shape, I believe she can make 168. I believe she could even make 160 if she stayed, you know what I'm saying? Because every time I see her, she doesn't
I agree,
seem
but
to
I
eat
think that's the lowest she can get, though. I don't think she can go south of 60. I think that's the lowest she could get.
I agree. The lowest she can probably go now is probably 60. I agree with that 100%. 100%. But to say that, you know, it's not her fault that she don't have, yes it is. Bro, it's because Clarissa wants to eat. Every time I see her, she does not look like she's eating anything healthy. She's always looking like she's sopping up some macaroni and cheese or a fried chicken wing in her mouth or something. That's not eating healthy.
Hey, can I say one more thing that you said that is so substantial? Yeah. And this is the thing. We're talking about saying someone is the GOAT who is putting on weight because she wants to care about how her butt looks. That's profound. When you said that should have resonated with everyone. How are you the GOAT in anything? And the only reason why you're putting on weight is so your butt can look right. You want to set a cup on it. Man, put the cup in the ring and let's go get some of them fights. Get yourself back in shape and let's go get some of them fights. Make these people come to you at a weight that they can come to you, and let's get those fights. Excellent stuff that you were giving us, Jab. I appreciate you always. Excellent panel. Y'all continue to cook. I appreciate you.
No problem.
What
I
up
want
with
to
you,
say
Thomas?
this too. I heard her say something about fighting Branchon again, which is like I reject that. I reject that deposit. I'm so serious. I reject that goddamn deposit. But go ahead, it's on you, Sin baby.
What up? What's good with everybody?
What up, Sam? What up, Sam?
Hey man, shout out to Crush, man. Crush came up here cooking like a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, he be saying that shit that almost make me just feel proud in the background, hating as they normally say I am. You know, just chilling, listening to that beautiful commentary, man. It's like music to my ears. But I want to talk about this malicious, malevolent Michigan mud puppy. This supervillain that we know as Claressa Shields, aka Terrence Crawford Part 2. First and foremost, aside from my criticisms, I don't think that no snack fighter could ever be goat, Billy Goat, sheep, buffalo. I mean, you pick whatever the fuck you want, canary. I don't care. You can't be none of that shit to me if you call that man, because in order for you to call that man and ignore his reputation, you have to know that you lack something. So whatever that fragility is in your spirit, that's what I critique with all snack fighters. It's not because I think I'm the toughest dude in the world, although I'm one of them. It's not because I think that, you know, like I'm disregarding everybody's skill or nothing like that. It's because in order for you to align yourself with certain people, you have to lack something in confidence and in spirit. And if you are in a blood sport, if you're in a gladiator sport that boxing is perceived to be, the people who you align yourself with, all of that shit matters. All of that shit matters. But that's not where my major critique lies with this malicious supervillain. Claressa Shields calls herself the GOAT, and I find so many things anatomically wrong with that statement, because she didn't say the greatest female fighter of all time. She didn't say the greatest woman athlete of all time. She said the greatest woman of all time. So when you say shit like that, I'm thinking of like Mother Teresa like deeds. I'm thinking that this chick can cook better than my grandma. Maybe she got a good legion of kids. Maybe she's inspirational to the kids, inspirational to little girls first and foremost, which I think that a GOAT or a female a female fighter, a female boxer, I think it's important for them to be inspirational to little girls, something that Claressa is not on many levels, and she doesn't care to be in terms of etiquette and just class. She disregards all other women in her class, especially by saying that she can beat men. So when she says that she can fight men, everything that women have done to distinguish themselves, and we set this we set up these parameters for safety. Trump just got men out of women's boxing and out of women's sports, and Claressa is working to set motherfuckers back to where if she runs up on a Jake Paul or a Rolly Romero, let's say if she ran up on Jake Paul and Jake Paul just up and slapped her and dropped her, that's going to start a motherfucking civil war in boxing in particular. You know what I'm saying? It's going to start a whole big racial debate on top of a gender debate, and it's going to set back everything that women have fought to create the little bit of the equality with, but still having the distinguishing of being a woman. They just got the 3-minute rounds, and now she's acting like her talent pool in the women's division is not satisfying enough for her. She has to either fight a 50-year-old Muhammad Ali or some male competition to prove herself, which is disrespectful to every woman that she competes with. It's disrespectful to women's boxing. It completely demeans women's boxing. So for somebody of her status to put out that perception and then embody no womanly qualities whatsoever, but be the greatest woman of all time and literally embody no womanly qualities whatsoever. Maybe she embodies a few, but only Papoose gets to see that. We don't see that shit. I think that it's borderline blasphemous. You know, like this is worthy of revolt. You know, like women should really be aiming to get. I would hate to, you know, say that she probably just needs to sit down for a while and you just need to get her out the way. But I think that she really does a complete disservice to the attention and the respect that women's boxing is supposed to get, especially with her rhetoric and that she's always looking to compete with men when we already seen somebody with no name drop her ass in sparring. And then all of a sudden they loaded their gloves. And now you got a whole nother situation right there that do y'all am I tripping? Am I reaching or am I not making sense?
Well, I made that up. I made that point last week because I did touch on that. I think he is suing her because of what she went on Shannon Sharp and said, accusing him yet again of taking that padding out of his gloves. He has equivocally denied that over and over and over again. So I do want to make sure that we reiterate that. He has come out and he has officially denied that, and so has his team. So
and look at this, Jab Queen. Look at this, what this does, what this also does, because people don't realize that. I guess a lot of fans don't really be in a boxing gym. But if a man, if I'm all right, first of all, you know, I coach men, women, and all the above. I've worked with, you know, some of everybody. If a girl came back to me in my gym and told me that somebody wronged her, a man wronged her in the gym, do you not know that it's the responsibility of every male in that gym to serve justice at that point? Like, she disrespected her male coaches by saying that they allowed a man to come in here, unload his gloves or load them up or whatever, and drop a woman. And then she goes and gets a knife or whatever and causes this whole conniption and shit. Like, nah, you disrespecting every male in your gym at that point. You're testing their manhood, because I can't allow no man to come in my gym and beat up a fucking woman and keep my reputation.
I want to be honest with my thoughts on that situation. I think that she was just embarrassed that he actually caught her with those wild ass punches that she be throwing. He caught her on the chin, and that's just that. I think that she got used to some of the other guys that she spars with. I think she's delirious enough to think that they really go hard on her, and that she's really getting the best of them. I really do believe that that's how she feels when there's no way in hell. You know what I'm saying? There's absolutely no way in hell that they're going hard on her. They're letting her build her confidence. They're helping her get ready for fights, and they're working on things with her. They're not in there trying to knock her fucking block off. And I think that she really thinks that they are. Because if you listen to her when she was talking to Shannon Sharp, she was like, man, I'll be up in there. They had their wives up in there, their kids up in there. I'll be giving them the business. I'm looking at her like, Claressa, you think they really hitting you back hard? Like, that's what you really think?
Exactly. Like, what's really going on in her head? And don't she know, like, as like, I mean, maybe she doesn't, but as a man, you know, if we had to sweat going again, like if we really had to sweat and put effort into like calming a woman down on that level of physicality, you know, like, dog, we gonna get roasted in all sorts of ways. In all sorts of ways. Amongst men, we ain't never gonna let nobody live that down. If it looked like you tried to put extensive effort in a punch towards a woman, whether it lands or not, like, dog, she made you sweat. She had you nervous in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
She also said when she went against EJ, she said his ass, I don't know if he break up for you or nothing, but he hit her hard, she said. But I say that to say all of this, right? She's I don't know. To me, she just always seems like she's looking for validation, you know, through outside people. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really seem like she's as confident as she would like to portray. You know, because like Alicia said, I'm confident enough to know I don't have to compete with my male counterparts. That's just ridiculous, you know?
Exactly. I agree with that. And I think that it really diminishes the, you know, if she's the greatest, if she's saying she's the greatest woman, but yet she's not satisfied with the talent pool, she's discrediting all women when she said
the same thing. And the same thing that she claimed Layla did to her. What you mean? Ain't nobody giving you no competition and all of that. You know,
exactly.
So the way that she tried to make Layla feel. But listen, let's get off of Clarissa's back because I don't want this to be like a bash Clarissa session because that's not why we're here. I wanted the conversation obviously because I said who do we think should represent us?
Oh man.
So you can give us your answer. I mean, you can go ahead, Sin. I just want to answer when you're done with your rank, baby.
Nah, I'm good. I think I touched on it. I really had to just touch on that quote title. That's what bothered me about her because she doesn't exhibit the characteristics of a woman and she's not inspirational to little girls. Little girls can't look at Clarissa Shields and see the best example of, I want to be the next championship women's boxer. I don't think that is a, you know, I think that's a horrible picture. And you have to have, you know, how Too Rich was up here saying that you got to garner attention and so on and so forth. You have to be inspirational if you take the role of leadership. You have to, like, you just can't garner on negative attention. You can't rely on that. Plain and simple. So, you know, yeah, I think she has a responsibility. To whom much is given, much is tested. And, you know, if you can't inspire these young women who really want inspiration, they shouldn't be looking up to a man or a woman that wants to fight men.
I'm sorry. Cash, you need to behave yourself, okay? Just try to behave, baby, okay? Not greatest wigs of all time. Okay, that's enough, Cash. Time out, baby. Go ahead, Sin. That's ridiculous.
But yeah. So, you know, we can wrap up the chapter of the Michigan Mud Puppy. You know what I'm saying? The malicious, malevolent, malignant. Now, give me some other M words. Hey, man, let me add to my vocabulary.
That's the wildest shit I've ever heard. But okay, so let's move it back around. What do you think about possibly the Boots and Xander fight? What do you think about that fight being made?
I mean, you know, whoever offers themselves to Jaron Ennis as a sacrificial lamb to the boxing gods right now, you know, because that's exactly what's going to happen. You know, poor Xander. That's all, you know, that if I could sum it up in 2 words, that's what I would probably say. Poor Xander. You know, I think Boots is in a place, you know, Boots is a star talent, as we all know, you know, and he has a lot of freedom to kind of do what he wants in that ring. And I think that his challenge is going to come from somebody who's either very strong and fundamentally a big puncher who is strong and fundamentally sound. We're not going to see the real Boots until he has to pull out the textbook, until he really gets his shit rattled and we see how his foundation is. What does he do when shit gets wobbly and that camera gets shaky? You know, like that's when you see the real fighter, because all of the talent goes out the window and the survival instincts kick in. And we got to see if he downloaded the right survival instincts. When it comes down to those times, that's when the textbook of boxing matters most. And no matter how talented you are, you have to have that textbook in you, or otherwise you end up like Roy Jones and Prince Nassim Hamed and so many other talented fighters that we see get derailed as soon as you throw a goddamn nickel in the road and had their asses swerving trying to find a clear fucking lane. Know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think I think his own talent could be his greatest detriment, you know. But I don't think that Xander got nothing for him, and unfortunately, I hope that Xander will be able to put himself back together after this loss, if you know it comes to manifest. Because I really think that Boots should be fighting a Charlo or somebody who has a little bit more of an ego and and is a little bit more established.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you, but I'll say this, right? There has been several people offered the opportunity to fight Jaron Boots Ennis, right? So definitely shout out to Xander for even stepping up and taking the opportunity, because we've seen Josh Kelly double talking, diddy bopping and flip flopping. You know what I'm saying? We've seen what happened when the fight was offered to Erickson Lubin. We've seen what happened when the fight was offered to Rashidi Ellis. You know, so we have to also take into account all the guys who said no to finally arrive at a yes. So shout out to Xander. He wants to challenge himself, like you said. He going down. But listen, that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? We got to get Boots in the ring. Now, I am his self-appointed YouTube lawyer, and I approve this message. Yes, get in there. I'm cool with it. You know, finally somebody stepping up. You know, Virgil over there playing hide and go seek with some paperwork. Him and Oscar playing lawsuit tag. I don't have time for that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know,
What I would like, I want people to kill the whole Haney versus Boots and so on. So I want that talk to stop immediately, because
what do you think he's suspended for? And what do you think he's suspended for?
Oh boy. I mean, you know that. I mean, that's a good question. I think Dean could have been onto something, and I also think that you're onto something. You know, with the whole New York situation. I think it was probably, I mean, likely if I was to make an educated guess, I would say it'd probably be the Tiger Johnson situation. But I'm sick of talking about this manufacturing motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because every time after damn 3-4 years of these motherfuckers talking about this coward, all I hear about is he beat George Kambosos. I mean, they say he's young as undisputed. When they say that, what translates in my head is, what translates in my head is he beat George Kambosos. You can't decorate. Like, some things need context in order for us to get a real sense of what the accomplishment was, if there was ever an accomplishment in the first place. So with Devin's biggest accomplishments in the sport, and let me know if I missed something, Devin's biggest accomplishments in the sport is beating George Kambosos and having a glorified sparring match with Tank Davis. I don't know nothing else great this man has done. I don't know he doesn't have a single attribute that is stellar or exceptional. He has never fought a single opponent and made no noise. You ain't never heard about him giving no hell in no sparring rounds inside of nobody's gym, and you ain't never heard about no strong amateur pedigree. So when I compile all these questions, I'm like, yo, why the fuck are we talking about this dude every day? Like, he is the one that people should be proving themselves against, because it looked like he got a lot to fucking prove.
Because of his daddy. I'm just going to say this. Look, first of all, I think Devin does have a pretty good jab. I will say that. He does have a pretty good jab. He does have decent footwork.
I'm sorry, not a disrespect.
He has, no. He has an amazing gas tank, right? Like, because we got to keep it balanced, right? We can't just be over here just kicking their back in all damn show. But to all of your points are absolutely valid. I just want to kind of provide a little balance. He does have decent footwork, and he does have a pretty good gas tank, right? So those are the attributes that I will give him. But to your point, he's not really doing anything really spectacular in the ring. I know Bill keeps talking about this toolbox or this tool shed that's empty, that he has all these tools in. I can't wait to see him pull them out. I kind of hope that this fight with Rolly does come to fruition, because I do want to see how he does with Rolly. Rolly is a big puncher. Even Javante said that. So, you know, if he catches him, and not to say that the first hit will do whatever, but let's be honest, Rolly is awkward. Rolly has been getting better. Not to say he's the best, not to say he's a killer, but he has shown progression, right? I don't know why people continue to ignore that, but he definitely has shown progression. And like you said, I don't think that Devin is 100% levels above Rolly to where it's not even going to be close. You know, I think that they may be miscalculating, just like they did in the Ryan fight. But again, who knows? You know, we will see. We'll definitely see what happens, you know, moving forward with that situation. If that does move forward, I would love to see it. But I do want to reiterate something that I said earlier, that I don't know if somebody's just getting here or what's happening. But I do want to, because like I said, I see this a lot on Twitter. People up there asking for Ryan's test results. Sweetie, it is a HIPAA violation okay, to report on somebody's VADA testing without their permission, okay? Just because Victor Conti was doing it, you know, all willy-nilly posting fake letters and all of that other kind of crap with fake dates on it does not mean that he was supposed to be doing that, okay? So if he failed, then obviously we will hear about it. However, he did not. Okay, he passed every test for the Barrios fight, and he is enrolled in the clean boxing program. So there is no dropping out of VADA. So when Devin Haney says the ship has sailed, he dropped out of VADA, that is incorrect information. There's no such thing when you are in the WBC clean boxing program, especially now since he is the champion. Tested all year round. That is a part of the clean boxing program. Okay, so just so we get the facts out there. I know people love to hang on to this Ostarine bit. I wish they would just throw it out the window, but we have to make sure that we're saying the facts as well. You cannot post his VADA test results without his permission. If they do, they are opening themselves up to a big ass lawsuit.
I mean, but that Queen and really anybody, I'm saying blue or Cam, have y'all ever heard somebody as many years as people have been getting cheated in this sport in various ways, from loaded gloves to supplements and anabolic steroids, shit you only put in horses and elephants, all sorts of shit been going on since day one. Have you ever heard anybody just weaponize and always attach themselves to a specific drug testing agency and just weaponize it, like sign up with VADA or else? He's off of that good juice. Like, have you ever heard this pussy ass commentary? And I'm trying to keep my words clean. No, I'm saying, yo, I be trying. Hey, let me tell you, blue on some real shit. Niggas be calling me a hater and shit. I be trying. I before I call up here, I be like, yo, I ain't gonna say no curse words. I'm trying to be clean, nigga. I can't get 10 seconds off. I can't get 10 seconds off and honor my own promises. Because I can't find cleaner words. I can't find nothing else to call these niggas. I don't know nothing else. It's like something in my spirit. It just feels dishonest. If I didn't say this is some pussy shit, he a coward, he a bitch. Like I would call my son the same thing if they move like that. Unfortunately, I had to disown my children if they move like that. I can't. Straight up. You know, so I never mind. I don't even know how they could be a fan of somebody like that.
Look, I can't do it, man. That's why I said like they be moving very strategically, and they say like when they went to Cambosis, they said the Cambosis, I'd be like he had all the belts, and I'm like, so what? He was the weakest link. You know what I'm saying? That's why people wanted. He was fooled. That's why he had the demands. He knew that he was gonna lose to somebody. So and when Devin stepped at the plate, he played him perfectly. Hey man,
let me tell you something.
I want 10 million in the next fight if you want to fight me. You know what I'm saying? You are the B-side.
Let me just say this, right? I want to just make this distinction, right? There's champions and then there's title holders, right? So to me, if you lose your belt, your very next fight after winning your belt, you're not really a champion. I mean, you're a champion, I guess, in the sense of the word, but like to me, I don't know. I'm just used to back in the day when niggas had like 15 successful title defenses. You know what I'm saying? They really built their division up. These guys are running around here playing hopscotch with divisions. You know, they're selecting people that they know they can beat, in my opinion, and trying to call it greatness when in fact it's nowhere near that. You know,
you heard when Bill Haney, my fault. You heard when Bill Haney just asked or a champ side or whatever. He asked Bill Haney, you know, so if you get the Xander Zayas fight at 154 and you beat him, is that going to be Devin's new weight? Or are you going to stay at that division? And Bill got into stuttering immediately, head scratching. Well, I don't know. We gonna have to see how my son look. And I'm sick of all of that weak ass. I gotta see how he looks, and we gotta fill it out first. I ain't seeing nobody just stand in a weight division and say, "Yo, dog, anybody at 140. When if I come to 140, everybody might as well just give the belts off. Just give them up, or I'm taking them." Plain and simple. I don't see no confidence in a Shakur, a Devin, or Crawford. Thank God he's out of the way. Or, you know, most of these motherfuckers that we talking about. I don't see that manhood in them. So it's like, how could I get behind these type of fighters who won't even bet on themselves? They fans come up here sounding like more men than them.
Yeah. Shout out to Dean by any means with the Cash App. I didn't even see that you did that. I'm so horrible with that. I'll be putting my phone on the charger and get my so we and be running my mouth. But shout out to everybody in the Cash App and the Super Chat. But to your point, that's 100% correct. I feel like even at 147, and people get upset when we say, you know, that's a weaker weight class or a weaker division now compared to what it used to be. And it's only because I don't see any Keith Thurmans at 147 now. I don't see any Earl Spence Jr.'s at 147. I don't see any Mayweathers at 147. I don't see any Bud Crawfords at 147 now. I just see a bunch of scattered belts everywhere. You know, a whole bunch of guys talking trash. You know, like Lewis Crocker got a belt. Like, come on, yo. Like, we have to stop this. There's belts and then there's competition. You can keep your belts if you fighting the best competition available, because you know what? That's going to grow your fan base. That's going to grow your name, because even before, well, just putting on spectacular performances, getting guys out of there that don't belong in there with you. Like, for example, before even Abdullah won that belt, whatever card he was on, I was checking for him. He ain't had no damn belt. He could have been on the prelims. I was watching it because I find him exciting. I find his skill set exciting. I wanted to see what he brings to each opponent. And shout out to Top Rank, because they started to level him up, you know, every 1 or 2 fights, he started to step it up in level. So I appreciate that, right? I feel like sometimes when they still fight on the same level, they're afraid to go up a level because they're afraid to lose, you know, which is this social media area. They're afraid to get embarrassed, or, you know, they're afraid to get knocked out. And I get all of that, right? But then don't run around here talking about you're great. I just don't know, you know? So I don't know. That's just my opinion on that particular situation. But who are you talking to, Sin? Who are you talking to, babe?
Oh, it's a little girl up in there. Took a name, Darren Collins. That's you know, saying I guess he's saying I'm cap. I guess he's bothered by some of my rhetoric. So I'm just trying to, you know, see if I want to invite him to call up here and see where I'm lying at. You know what I'm saying? If you could check me on anything, or you know, if you could prove anything I said to be a lie, you more than welcome to call up. You know what I'm saying? She got the link pinned to the chat, brother. Sister.
Yeah. Stop it. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, just y'all thoughts on that, right? Like, because I feel like you said, Sin, these guys don't really build divisions anymore. They're kind of just hopping all around. You know, if you are one weight class this fight, and then the next weight class you moving up, and the next weight class you moving back down. Like, for instance, isn't Lamont supposed to be fighting Zepeda? Isn't that fight going to be at 135 again after he just fought Pitbull at 140?
It's going to be at 135.
So I don't understand that you're jumping all around with your weight, but Tank pulled you up. But yet you haven't fought at 130 since that fight. I don't understand this.
Yep,
you know?
and they've got his belt strap.
Yeah, you know, so it's just, I don't know. What do y'all think about this Munguia fight with Resendez?
I mean, I like the fight. I mean, it's crazy though, man. I didn't like how they pushed that Ring Magazine. They put that content out about Jamal Charlo at first, and PBC didn't make that announcement. So it made me seem like, you know, they was trying to make PBC look bad in the media with how they forced that, you know, that content a little bit. So like it was a little different than, you know, my thought process for it. But I mean, overall, I mean, it's a cool fight. I mean, I like the card overall for us, Benvidez and Zordo, with Oscar Duarte and Angel Ferrero,
and I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad that Oscar was able to get another fight. I'm glad they're doing right by Oscar and giving him another fight, being as though Richardson Hitchin had a tummy ache and had to pull out. So I'm really glad that he was able to secure himself another fight rather quickly. So for sure. For sure. Oh, you said somebody said Resendez for the win? I could see that. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Aso Stain, for sure. I could definitely see that. I'm not gonna just completely count Munguia out, you know, because he's proven to be tough. But we'll see. You know, we'll see. I seen something about Dalton Smith and Puerto, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see how this starts shaping up. Q2. We should be looking to hear an announcement from Shakur soon. I can't wait to see the Oshaki Foster and Ford fight. I wanted him to fight Navarrete, but you know what? Fine. If you're gonna give us Ford, then fine, I'll take it. Ford, you know, he said you ain't getting to his daddy. I mean, he didn't say his daddy, but he said you ain't getting to him. So he said you ain't getting to him. So
he pushing for that fight for real. Ford is. He pushing for that fight because he.
Oh yeah.
Because he workout session. He said he's still waiting.
Oh God. But yeah, we've been up here about almost 3 hours, so we can go ahead and close out. What are some closing thoughts, man? Obviously, we went over the boot situation. We don't know why Devin is suspended, although we suspect it's because of the issue with Tiger Johnson. Keyshawn, we got to work on his clout chasing, baby. The face of women's boxing. I gave my answer. I think you said what did you say, Blue? I'm sorry, baby, I forgot.
I say Clarissa is until somebody can come up there and replace her, or in the
Okay.
works, You know what I'm saying? Like if there was another female that was at her level, I believe there could be more than one face of boxing. I mean, because obviously there's more one at the just recently and at the
Hey,
time there's
Adam,
more than one
baby.
face of boxing, more than one face of boxing in men's boxing. So I think it can go both
Okay.
ways.
Okay. I can respect that.
Yeah.
Oh, Cam jumped down. All right. Well,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
we talked about
I was just gonna say, appreciate you letting me up on the panel.
of
Thank you so
course.
much, and
Oh, for
hit that
sure.
like button. Everybody subscribe. If you coming in late, you know what I'm saying. Hit the hype, and share.
And catch it from the playback, baby. We don't went over everything. But
Hey, thanks,
thanks,
Queen.
Blue,
Thanks,
for stopping
everybody.
by. Of course,
Most definitely.
for always. So Sin, we talked about the boots thing. You said you're happy. We don't know what's going on with Devin and the Rolly situation. We talked about Keyshawn, your face of women's boxing. I don't know if you were here when I gave the four women. I kept it simple and I only made it 4 because I didn't want everybody to blah blah blah. So I said Alicia Bumgarner. Obviously, I listed, that she is marketable. She's very poised. She's very well spoken when she does speak. She's very professional. She spearheads a lot of things. Her and Amanda Serrano by dropping their belts to fight 3-minute rounds. That took guts. Those are belts that they bled for. So I can respect and appreciate them for taking those steps to move the sport of women's boxing forward. So I said Alicia Bumgarner. Obviously, we do have to add Clarissa Shields, Katie Taylor, or Amanda Serrano. Those were the options that I gave. And then if you need me to, the reasons why I gave them aren't really important unless you want me to spew them again. But those were the names that I came up with just simply based on, their popularity, their marketability, their fights, and just what they've done for the sport. So you take your pick. It's whatever young lady you would like to see represent the face of women's boxing, and you can tell me why.
Nah, I think that Baumgartner is at least earning it right now. And Serrano, I agree with between her and Serrano. Clarissa Shields definitely probably the most decorated and most decorated. That's all I could say. I won't say most accomplished because then you got to factor in, who she fought, and not that she really, I could say that she ducked much of anybody, but the people that she looks to validate herself against, I think that it's a real problem there. And I just think that she's a poor representation,
Bye,
like I
Ruben,
said.
baby.
But yeah, like for the younger ladies, I think that Alicia and Serrano have kind of earned their keep right now. I do still think that maybe a fresh face. I don't know who right now because I don't pay heavy attention to the women's boxing. I'm saying as far as the entire landscape, but I think that just like 147 right now in a lot of these divisions, I think that boxing is kind of in shambles right now because it's not. Most people are playing, like you said, playing hopscotch. Nobody's defending any belts. We don't. Who has the most title defenses right now? Is Inoue the only one that defends titles now?
You know what? Possibly.
I mean, shit. Come on now. Like this is why there's no prestigious champions right now, and really, it's going to lead. For me, it's all going to lead back to Crawford, the only man to disrupt 3 divisions, to hold 4 belts and never defend them. That's where you have this situation where now we have to ask, who the hell are these champions? Why are they champions? Why are we fans of them? And so on and so forth. It's only because other people have vacated the belts in 4 different directions. And now the division has to be reestablished with firm talent that feels confident enough to play king of the hill at whatever division they're at. So I think that in 6 months to another year, I'll be much more content with the landscape, and we'll see a few faces fade out, a few people that we won't talk about anymore because they were just here for the money and for the lick. And there's a few people that's underneath them that's being overshadowed because of the names. But once that, like Bernard Hopkins said, but sport of boxing will call your bluff. And hopefully these dudes get their bluffs called out, and we start talking about the people who really want to prove themselves and not the people who want to parasite their names to a bigger name or a more established fighter and try to look for an opportunity or some big money fight. You know, that's my take. And I would like to just, end with saying, for those that don't know, snackusations are confessions. Anything a snack fighter accuses another fighter of, they're probably doing that very shit that they're accusing the other guy of. So make sure y'all know that snackusations are confessions. Crawford is soft as hell. He will always be in and out of retirement. And
oh my goodness.
Hey man, I'm saying salute to the Michigan mud puppy known as Clarissa Shields. I got nicknames for y'all asses, man. This is this Jab Queen exclusive. Jab Queen, you know, as always, I love being here. Unfortunately,
we love
I gotta
having
go.
you. All right, have a good evening.
For sure, you too.
Lord have mercy. Sin everybody. Creole, I don't know what that's about, baby. I gotta see how old you are. Is it just kind of like a man thing? You like one of those guys who don't like to see women fight, or like you don't find it interesting? Because to me, some of those fights are more entertaining than men's fights because they have less time. They gotta kind of just get in there and get to the action. So you can let me know which one that is. Either way, it's fine. A lot of guys. I know Aircraft Carrier, he said he doesn't really fancy a lot of women's boxing either. So I understand some of the older generation, they don't really like all of that. I get that. I 100% get that. I have uncles like that, and my dad is semi like that, but my uncles are they're like that more than anything. But I want to shout out everybody who came through the building tonight. Shout out to everybody in the bushes, baby. Mother does definitely appreciate y'all so much. I will see y'all maybe tomorrow because I don't know if I'm going to be here Saturday. And we just shoot the shit. You know what I'm saying? We can continue this conversation if necessary. I really don't think so. I know a lot of y'all have selected people that were not in the runnings, Rick Timms, to be the face of women's boxing. But I do agree with you. I think give Caroline maybe a couple more years. I do not want to leave Gabri Fundora out because she is doing an amazing job. I do want her to move up. I heard she was going to move down. I don't know why. I would rather her move up to see if we can get her some more challenges, and then maybe, but overall she's fantastic, man. She's definitely a beast. Some people think she's even better than her damn brother, so who knows? But we will definitely see. But I appreciate everybody for stopping by tonight. Y'all make sure y'all smash the like button. If y'all are not already subbed to the channel, make sure you do so, and we will catch you on the flip side, baby. Mother is gone. Have a great night.